Go on, boy.
Fake it?
Let's see how long you can fake it. I have the true translation right here.
Old dog, you crawled a lifetime for scraps. I just need one glance.
The void opens, the bloodline binds. Reveal the hidden realm.
Stop! That's impossible. How do you know the lost Muyo Tailenged?
Because, Lash, I read their souls, not your pathetic notes.
You memorized it! It's a lucky guess!
A caged bird?
You are nothing but a caged bird!
Take a good look at the box. It only answers to the true master.
You translated the words, but missed the warning. It's not a treasure box. It's a cage.
Yunxia, why hast thou come to my bedchamber? Within the palace's bathing pool, Consort Yunxia reclined amidst the milky, white spiritual liquid, her entire being suffused with unparalleled comfort. She spoke softly. The glazed imperial palace is directly beside mine. That couple, with their brief separation, rekindling their ardor, I simply cannot endure their golden wind and Jade du rendezvous. Consort Baixiang, seated by the pool's edge, heard this, and, covering her face with a sleeve, playfully chided, "Thou hast grown bolder after thy sojourn, uttering such shameless words." Consort Yunxia paused, taken aback. Indeed, how could she have ever spoken such words before? She rubbed her brow, sighing, "Proximity to vermilion makes one red, proximity to ink makes one black." It was only after encountering Fang Chen that she had gradually become so volatile. Even in matters betwixt man and woman, she seemed to have grown somewhat bolder. Fortunately, for a considerable time to come, she would not have to encounter Fang Chen again. Consort Baixiang did not comprehend. By whom had Consort Yunxia been darkened, then? She sighed softly. "Thy presence in my abode incurs no objection from me. However, to perpetually evade the demon emperor thus is no true solution. Surely thou canst not hide, each time thou returnest." Consort Yunxia fell silent. Evading Fang Chen and glazed consort was merely an excuse. The one she truly wished to avoid was the demon emperor. To evade for a moment is to evade for a moment. Dearest sister, allow me to slumber here for but one more night. With thy presence, the demon emperor would be disinclined to seek me. Consort Yunxia pleaded, her tone coquettish. Consort Baixiang spoke helplessly. "Ah, thou art ever stubborn, refusing counsel. Thou art already wed to the demon emperor. What more couldst thou possibly desire? This night alone, then." Only then did Consort Yunxia's countenance brighten with a smile. "Then come down as well. Let us bathe together." Consort Baixiang cast her a sideways glance. "Art thou not ashamed? Thou goest first. I shall command a maidservant to prepare some fragrances for thee." With these words, she rose and departed. Not long after, a clumsy maidservant, bearing a basket of various dried flower petals, inadvertently spilled half the basket's contents while scattering them. The maidservant started in fright, quickly kneeling to beg for mercy. "Consort Yunxia, spare this humble one's life. This servant knows her transgression." Consort Yunxia spoke gently. "It is not. Thou mayest withdraw." The maidservant felt a great burden lifted, silently musing. It is oft said that Consort Yunxia is the gentlest of all. Truly, it is so. Once the maidservant had retired, Consort Yunxia reposed comfortably in the spiritual pool, her heart unburdened and at ease as never before. Since her fateful encounter with Fang Chen, her mood had worsened with each passing day. That rogue invariably frayed her nerves, transforming her from a gentle consort, praised by all, into a venomous woman. He was truly a noxious influence. Ah, the sensation of Fang Chen being absent from her sight, it was truly blissful. Consort Yunxia plucked a rose petal, pressed it to her lips, and a smile of serene contentment graced her face. But in the very next instant, her expression froze. For a crooked bolt of purple heaven, divine lightning, descended from the heavens, striking unerringly beside the spiritual pool. A youthful figure, covered in dust and grime, scrambled to his feet, muttering curses. This purple heaven divine lightning is truly arduous to control. He brushed the dirt from his garments, then abruptly perceived a gaze fixed upon him. Turning his head, he beheld a flawless form, partially veiled by the bath's waters, along with a pair of beautiful eyes, wide with astonishment and shock. Fang Chen's heart skipped a beat. This is Consort Yunxia bathing. Nay, how did this purple heaven divine lightning lead him to this very place? Recalling Consort Yunxia's fiery temperament, a chill crept into Fang Chen's heart. Feigning ignorance, he once more activated the cloud-veiled shadow technique, preparing to abscond. Consort Yunxia finally regained her senses. "Ah, Fang Chen," she shrieked in fury. The gentle consort, whose demeanor had been so arduously restored, instantly crumbled, utterly broken. To distance herself from Fang Chen, she had deliberately journeyed to consort Beixiang's bedchamber, over 1,000 zhang away from the glazed imperial palace. She had believed she could finally enjoy a few days of tranquility, cleansing her heart, which had grown fraught with malevolence. Who could have known that Fang Chen would actually pursue her here, and at the precise moment of her bathing? Fang Chen gasped softly. This was the Demon Emperor's inner palace, and moreover, the scene of Consort Yunxia's bath. If the Demon Emperor were to discover this, no explanation of his would suffice. Even his identity as the father of the child within glazed consort's womb would be insufficient to save him. Immediately, he lunged forward, covering Consort Yunxia's mouth, and whispered urgently, "Dost thou wish for my demise?" Consort Yunxia was startled by Fang Chen's sudden action. At this very moment, she was utterly unclothed and instinctively struggled to cast off Fang Chen's hand. Perceiving that she remained uncalm, Fang Chen simply flipped over, straddling her and pinning her beneath him, lest she flail wildly. This rendered Consort Yunxia even more distraught, her struggles growing fiercer. To her mortification, though she possessed immense power, capable of slaying Fang Chen at close range with utmost ease, yet, pinned by him, the strength within her entire being seemed disobedient. Refusing to be marshaled, she could only struggle weakly, like an uncultivated mortal maiden, uttering muffled sounds from her lips. Fang Chen uttered a low growl. "'Tis not as if I haven't gazed upon thy form before." Previously distraught Consort Yunxia was immediately overcome with shame and indignation. Her eyes widened, and a potent force erupted, sending Fang Chen flying backward to plunge into the spiritual pool. With a tumultuous splash, great sheets of milky, white spiritual liquid sprayed onto the bank. Consort Yunxia, her eyes ablaze with fury, shrilly rebuked him, "Speak such nonsense again, and I shall sever thy tongue." Seeing her finally regain a semblance of composure, Fang Chen, disregarding his drenched attire, quickly shushed her. "Would you see me dead?" "I harm you." Concubine Yunxia's fury threatened to burst her very lungs. Her palms slammed into the pool's surface, sending towering waves several zhang high, her eyes ablaze with incandescent rage. "You dared to trespass and gaze upon my bathing, and yet you claim I seek to harm you," she hissed, her voice lowered in a furious reprimand. Fang Chen sighed helplessly. "You may find it unbelievable, but I was merely engaged in cultivation, method, practice." Concubine Yunxia, enraged to the point of laughter, retorted, "Then your cultivation method is truly despicable, vulgar, and utterly shameless." Fang Chen rubbed his nose, speaking with a hint of trepidation. "Who could have foreseen you would choose this secluded corner for your ablutions? Were you not meant to reside next to my abode?" I, Concubine Yunxia, was utterly choked, her apricot eyes glaring fiercely at Fang Chen. Why had she come here? Was it not precisely to avoid the sight of Fang Chen? Yet, the heavenly Tao itself could not have foretold his pursuit, even to this remote sanctuary. Fang Chen cupped his hand in a salute, clearing his throat, whether by intent or by unwitting chance. This one, Fang, has indeed been presumptuous this day. I offer my profound apologies to Concubine Yunxia. I take my leave. Having spoken, he began to invoke a spell, preparing for departure. Concubine Yunxia gnashed her teeth in fury. A mere apology, and he thought to depart. Such an easy escape was unthinkable. With a swift push of her fair hand, a torrent of pool water surged, striking Fang Chen and forcefully interrupting the lightning art he was on the verge of manifesting. "Concubine Yunxia, this is no time for jest and sport. Should the demonic emperor arrive, my doom shall be sealed," Fang Chen hastily declared. Concubine Yunxia scoffed, "Then perish. Only by your demise may I find eternal tranquility." To have fled such a vast distance, only for Fang Chen to still manifest before her very eyes and drive her to utter madness. She was overwhelmed by a sense of inescapable collapse, as if Fang Chen permeated every corner of existence. Beyond orchestrating Fang Chen's demise, there seemed no other recourse to evade his persistent presence. Fang Chen, too, grew vexed. How can this woman be so utterly devoid of reason? Should I perish, do you truly believe your own fate would be favorable? If the demonic emperor were to slay me, I shall reveal that you were twice subjected to my searching, and further, were compelled by Lu Liang to disrobe. From my observations, the demonic emperor is hardly a magnanimous sort when it comes to such matters. Concubine Yunxia's expression froze, for her deepest dread was precisely the demonic emperor's discovery of these very incidents. The demonic emperor was not merely lacking in magnanimity regarding such affairs, he harbored a possessiveness that bordered on the pathological. Should she exchange but a single extra word with any man, the demonic emperor would be consumed by suspicion and paranoia. If he were to learn of these happenings, he would interrogate her with the frenzy of a madman. The mere contemplation of it left her feeling suffocated. "It seems you have come to your senses. In that case, I take my leave." Fang Chen once more invoked his spell. Concubine Yunxia yearned to intervene and hinder him, yet a true apprehension gnawed at her the fear that the demonic emperor might apprehend Fang Chen, ultimately implicating and entangling her in his fate. The sensation of having one's vulnerable weaknesses exploited drove Concubine Yunxia to the brink of frenzy. She raged with resentment. "Fang Chen, I am not done with you." Fang Chen smiled, waving his hand. "We shall meet again in due time." Just as he prepared to transform into a bolt of lightning and depart, suddenly, the venerable Six Paths, within his embrace, chuckled softly. "Young one, you would do well to conceal yourself swiftly. The demonic emperor has already arrived." As a former being of the late nascent soul realm, his perception of vital energies far surpassed Fang Chen's. This caused Fang Chen's heart to clench. To transform into lightning and soar into the heavens at this moment would surely mean being caught red-handed, would it not? Yet within this temporary palace, no hiding place offered true safety. He cast a gaze upon the milky, white spiritual essence pool. Fang Chen grit his teeth, donned his tortoise breath cloak, and plunged head first into the spirit pool. "What are you doing?" Concubine Yunxia shrieked, her arms clasped defensively across her chest. At that instant, she too sensed something amiss. Her gaze sweeping towards the horizon where a dense, ominous demonic cloud rapidly approached. One moment it was but a distant specter on the horizon, the next it hung directly above their heads. From within the demonic cloud, a golden-haired, exceptionally handsome demonic emperor descended with breathtaking speed. His gaze immediately fell upon Concubine Yunxia within the spirit pool. "Yunxia, why are you here?" the demonic emperor inquired. Concubine Yunxia swiftly crouched, concealing her barely visible form deeper within the spiritual liquid. Not content with this, she drew the abundant flower petals from the pool's surface around her, completely obscuring the water's expanse. Her heart hammered with panic, yet she maintained an outward semblance of tranquility. She stated, "It has been too long since I accompanied Baixiang to amuse myself here. I apologize if I have disturbed the demonic emperor's refined leisure. Yunxia shall depart at once." The demonic emperor subtly eased his breath, revealing a trace of a gentle smile. "I merely heard unusual stirrings from this place and came to investigate. I had not anticipated finding you here, bathing." His gaze drifted to the glimpse of her pristine, fragrant shoulder that Yunxia had inadvertently revealed, and a flicker of desire ignited within him. Concubine Yunxia's heart pounded like a frantic drum, yet she feigned composure, saying, "I was momentarily overcome by whimsy, frolicking in the waters. My sincerest apologies for disturbing the demonic emperor." The demon emperor's gaze grew increasingly fervent as he circled the pool, slowly arriving at Consort Yunxia's side. He chuckled softly. It is rare for Yunxia, usually so dignified and submissive, to be in such a refined mood. "I shall join you in your play." On the spot, he began to unfasten the jade belt at his waist. Consort Yunxia was startled. Not only was she repulsed, but with Fang Chen hidden within the spirit pool, there was no way she could permit this. "Yunxia has finished her bath and shall now dress. I ask that the demon emperor withdraw." Her expression was cold and her tone icy, leaving the demon emperor not even a shred of room for intimacy. The demon emperor's face stiffened slightly, his expression flickering with a dark, uncertain light. One did not need to guess to know he was incensed, yet something unknown compelled him to restrain his fury. After a long moment, he suppressed his anger and sighed. "Yunxia, so many years have passed. How much longer must you continue to reject me? Fang Chen is but a human prisoner. After only a few days, you developed such feelings for him that you dared defy my command to let him go. In all the years of my devotion, have you truly felt nothing at all?" At the mention of Fang Chen, Consort Yunxia's heart quickened, her soul laden with guilt. To maintain one original lie, she now had to weave 100 more to cover it. There had been nothing between her and Fang Chen, yet now the matter had become impossibly tangled. Maintaining her cold facade, she said, "If it concerns the official affairs of the demon race, Yunxia is willing to converse with the demon emperor. But if it concerns these irrelevant personal matters, then there is no need for the demon emperor to say more." The demon emperor's countenance turned somber. His attempt to play upon her emotions had been ruthlessly shut down by Consort Yunxia. "Exactly, what must I do for you to finally accept me?" Consort Yunxia replied indifferently, "I do not understand what the Demon Emperor is speaking of." Even as she dealt with the Demon Emperor, Fang Chen's voice suddenly echoed in her mind via the telepathic transmission of his closed mouth Zen. "Consort Yunxia, what is your true relationship with this Demon Emperor? You do not sound like husband and wife." He had long sensed the subtle tension between them, and now it seemed something was indeed amiss. It appeared Consort Yunxia was deeply repulsed by the Demon Emperor, and the dignified sovereign of demons could do nothing about it. Consort Yunxia was shocked and hurriedly rebuked him in her mind. "Are you seeking death? How dare you speak to me now? What if the Demon Emperor detects you?" Fang Chen replied helplessly, "I am reminding you to keep it brief. I am about to run out of breath." He was not of the water attribute demon race, nor did he possess a water evading bead or any such magical artifact. Hidden within the spiritual liquid, he relied solely on holding his breath to avoid exposure. Consort Yunxia finally realized that Fang Chen could not hold his breath for long. If he were to be exposed, the heavens themselves would collapse upon them. "Demon Emperor, please withdraw," Consort Yunxia said coldly, her face clearly showing her displeasure. The Demon Emperor's expression darkened. Without a word, he refastened his jade belt and ascended into the void, vanishing. Before leaving, his eyes narrowed as he glanced at the spiritual liquid splashed across the shore, though he pretended to notice nothing as he disappeared. Consort Yunxia breathed a small sigh of relief and was about to tell him to get out immediately. Yet Fang Chen's telepathic voice sounded again in her mind, "Do not speak. The Demon Emperor may not have truly left. He is a suspicious man. Seeing such a mess here, doubt must have taken root in his heart." Consort Yunxia's heart skipped a beat. Indeed, the Demon Emperor was exactly that type of person. She feigned ignorance and lay back in the spirit pool, letting out a long sigh, as if a great weight had been lifted. Within her mind, however, she was fuming. "Fang Chen, look at the mess you've caused. I have done nothing, yet you have made it seem as though I have betrayed the Demon Emperor." She felt immensely aggrieved. If Fang Chen were dragged out of the spirit pool by the Demon Emperor, any explanation she gave would be hollow and futile. It was, as the crude saying goes, like yellow mud falling into one's trousers. Even if it is not what it appears to be, there is no way to wash away the suspicion. Fang Chen snorted, "Is this not your fault? If you had let me leave earlier, none of this would have happened. You delayed until the Demon Emperor arrived." Consort Yunxia said angrily, "You have the gall to mention that. If your cultivation method hadn't led you to my bathing chamber, would things have turned out like this? I am telling you, sooner or later, I will slay you." She desired nothing more than to be in a world without Fang Chen. However, just as the words left her, her expression changed. Her thigh had actually been pinched. Fortunately, having been touched by Fang Chen twice before, she had developed some immunity. She did not cry out, but in her mind she raged with shame. "Fang Chen, what are you doing? Touch me one more time and see if I don't drag us both to our doom." Fang Chen scoffed. "Everyone says you are gentle, but where is this gentleness? You spend all day shouting, either throwing a fit or on the way to one. Who was blind enough to call you gentle?" Consort Yunxia was so furious she was speechless. Why had she become like this? Was it not because of this scoundrel? At this moment, her only wish was to be far away from him. She asked, "How much longer can you hold your breath?" Fang Chen sent a divine sense transmission. "Less than a minute remains. It is best if the Demon Emperor departs within that time, otherwise." Consort Yunxia's heart sank. She knew Fang Chen could not hold out much longer, and anxiety gnawed at her soul. As things stood, only by leaving the bath could she dispel the Demon Emperor's suspicions. "Close your eyes. For what? I am dressing. Are they closed? How many fingers am I holding up? 3. Fang Chen." Consort Yunxia cried out in shameful indignation. "You are shameless." Fang Chen clicked his tongue and said, "Very well. I shall look no more. Though I have already touched you more than once, yet you still forbid me from looking." Consort Yunxia felt a dull ache in her chest. She needed to find a place far from Fang Chen to cultivate her temperament. If this continued, she would surely fall ill from pure rage. Gritting her teeth and ignoring whether Fang Chen was peeking, she withdrew her jade, like hands, from her chest. Just as she prepared to beckon her robes through the air to cover herself, the eerie voice of the Demon Emperor drifted from behind her without warning. "Yunxia, are you bathing alone?" This single sentence nearly scared the soul out of Consort Yunxia. Turning her head, she saw the Demon Emperor with arms crossed over his chest. His eyes narrowed as he scrutinized the seemingly bottomless spiritual pool. Consort Yunxia's heart pounded wildly. Fang Chen had been right. The Demon Emperor had indeed grown suspicious. Fortunately, thanks to Fang Chen's warning, she did not lose her composure. Her expression turned slightly cold as she demanded, "Demon Emperor, what is the meaning of this?" The Demon Emperor spoke indifferently, precisely what I said. Then his body jolted, and a wave of nascent soul realm aura swept across the spiritual pool. Except for the area immediately surrounding Consort Yunxia, the rest of the waters were subjected to the crushing weight of the nascent soul aura. Forget a hidden person, even a mere insect would have been vibrated to death. In an instant, half of Fang Chen's body was struck by the nascent soul aura, causing excruciating pain. The pressure continued to escalate, threatening to crack his bones and draw blood if that happened. His presence would surely be exposed. In that moment of peril, a pair of jade hands subtly pulled Fang Chen toward her. When Fang Chen regained his senses, he found himself held in Consort Yunxia's arms in a protective embrace. The milky, white spiritual liquid obscured the Demon Emperor's vision, preventing him from seeing Consort Yunxia's movements. His focus remained on the regions outside of Consort Yunxia's immediate vicinity, and the nascent soul aura he released grew even more potent, causing the spiritual pool to churn with massive bubbles, as if it were boiling. Little did he know that Fang Chen was currently held tightly in Consort Yunxia's embrace, shielded from the oppression of the nascent soul aura. Fang Chen was somewhat dazed, feeling a soft sensation against his face. He shifted slightly, only to realize he was pressed against her bosom. "Do not move. If you move again, we shall both perish." A voice filled with shame and irritation rang out in Consort Yunxia's mind. Fang Chen dared not move again, obediently pressing his face back against her chest. Consort Yunxia let out a strange sound in her mind, as if struck by lightning, and a visible flush spread across her face. "Are you all right?" Fang Chen asked via divine sense. Consort Yunxia was overwhelmed with shame. "You, shut your mouth, not another word." Very well, Fang Chen remained still and silent, leaning against her bare embrace. Gurgle, after the spiritual pool had churned like boiling water for a long time, the Demon Emperor concluded he had been overly suspicious. He withdrew his aura and smiled. "Yunxia, do not take it to heart. I simply care for you too much." Behind his back, Consort Yunxia's face was flushed with deep shame, but to prevent exposure, she feigned extreme fury and spoke coldly. "Do you suspect me of harboring another man behind your back? This is your Demon Emperor palace, your inner harem. What is there to fear?" The Demon Emperor did not deny it, stating flatly, "Carefulness allows one to sail a ship for 10,000 years. I do not wish to one day hear news of my woman betraying me." Consort Yunxia huffed coldly, and if there were such a thing, the Demon Emperor narrowed his eyes. "I would slay her and her entire clan, leaving not even the chickens or dogs alive. Yunxia, do not let me down." Having spoken, the Demon Emperor stepped into the void and departed completely. Yunxia stood there in a daze, staring blankly at the pool filled with mangled flower petals. Her heart felt as if a giant boulder were pressing upon it. Only when a large bubble rose from her chest did she snap back to reality. She finally realized that Fang Chen's face was still pressed against her bosom, and in her fright, she hastily cast him aside. Leave at once. Do not let me see you again." Consort Yunxia's voice echoed urgently in her mind, driven by either shame or fear of the Demon Emperor's words. Fang Chen gasped for air. Fortunately, the Demon Emperor had left, otherwise he would have truly been discovered. "My thanks to Consort Yunxia for the rescue. Today's matter shall remain between us, known only to the heavens and the earth." Even with his thick skin, Fang Chen felt a hint of remorse. He had truly put Consort Yunxia in a difficult position. A woman of such purity had been forced into such a shameful act. He produced a blood bodhi and placed it before her, then decisively activated his lightning divine ability. He departed with haste. Consort Yunxia stared blankly at the blood bodhi, yet she could find no joy. Instead, a deep sense of guilt surged within her heart. She could hardly believe that she had held another man in her arms while rebuking the Demon Emperor for his suspicions. Was this not the type of woman she despised most? How had she become like this herself? "Fang Chen, I never wish to see you again." Consort Yunxia covered her face, her emotions on the verge of collapse. Every time she encountered Fang Chen, something unspeakable would occur. This time, it had left her utterly humiliated. "I shall return to the Silver Fox tribe tomorrow. I refuse to believe I will encounter you there." The Silver Fox tribe was located in the northernmost reaches of the demon race's territory, bordering the myriad-mile snow plain to the south, and looking out over the vast ocean to the north. It was a remote land that required a 3-day journey to reach. If she still encountered Fang Chen there, she would accept her fate, acknowledging that he was the bane of her existence, a shadow she could never shake. After Fang Chen had quietly returned to the glazed palace, he stared at the wall of the secret chamber for a long time, involuntarily reminiscing about that soft sensation. For Fang Chen, who had never been in such close proximity to a woman, this was like opening a brand new door. After a long while, he suddenly snapped out of it and shook his head vigorously. He said to himself, "Fang Chen, what nonsense are you thinking? Is Consort Yunxia someone you can touch? Moreover, the priority is to find a way to escape the demon race. There is no time for such thoughts." He steadied his mind and carefully analyzed the reason behind his failure in executing the second layer of the shadows in the clouds technique moments ago. Such unpredictable and uncontrollable lightning could very well cost him his life when used to flee for survival. Yet, after carefully sorting through his thoughts for a long while, he still could not pinpoint the source of the problem. There was no issue with his cultivation of the method. The second layer had reached perfection, and the power of lightning flowed smoothly. Why, then, was he unable to control his direction during the teleportation? Suddenly, Fang Chen recalled the incident where his use of a spatial scroll was disrupted by the 5 magnetic prime mountain, which ultimately teleported him into the southwestern military camp of the demon race. He could not help but stroke his chin in suspicion. Could it be that my lightning teleportation just now was subjected to some form of interference? Pondering back and forth, Fang Chen could only think of one item that was the most likely culprit. He took out the heavenly lightning stone and probed it with his gaze, only to see a colossal, pitch-black, spherical stone, measuring 100 zhang in length and width, lying quietly within. The surface of the stone bore pores and indentations of varying depths, the wounds left behind by the ancient giant who had been sucking out the egg's liquid over the past millennium. He attempted to strike a bolt of lightning power into the heavenly lightning stone, landing it upon the giant egg. A miraculous scene unfolded. The power of lightning was actually absorbed by the giant egg. This confirmed Fang Chen's speculation. It was highly probable that the giant egg had interfered with his purple lightning just moments prior. "So it was you, little fellow." Fang Chen revealed a look of profound interest. "You are highly likely the descendant of an ancient sage. The blood of your true spirit is an absolute necessity for my cultivation of the Brahma Saint True Spirit method." At the thought of the Brahma Saint True Spirit method, his eyes blazed with intense fervor. According to the cultivation method, it is divided into the 4 manifestations of heaven, earth, mortal, and God. Cultivating each manifestation requires a specific type of true spirit blood. Successfully cultivating any single manifestation would render one invincible within the golden core realm, and cultivating 2 manifestations would forge an indestructible golden body. The giant egg before him might just help him cultivate 1 manifestation. From then on, he would have no rival beneath the nascent soul realm. Taoist 6 paths also manifested, clicking his tongue in marvel. This is, at the very least, a descendant birthed by a sage. The purity of its true spirit blood is second only to the sage itself. However, this giant egg might not be so easily cracked open. Fang Chen was somewhat mentally prepared for this. After all, it was the descendant of a sage. How could the outer shell meant to protect it be broken by just anyone? Therefore, he directly extracted the giant egg from the heavenly lightning stone, summoned his purple sword, and viciously slashed at the shell. The purple sword could sever all things, and had never disappointed Fang Chen. No matter how tough the giant egg before him was, the blade should still be able to breach it. PFFT just as expected as the purple sword sliced down. Although it met with resistance and was nowhere near as effortless as cutting through other objects, it still managed to carve into the shell. Incredibly, the fissure carved by the sword was instantly mended by a mysterious power within the egg's liquid. Had Fang Chen not withdrawn the purple sword swiftly, the blade would have been sealed inside. Refusing to concede to the bizarre anomaly, Fang Chen cleaved several more times, yet the outcome remained the same. The sword marks vanished in a flash and fully recovered, granting Fang Chen absolutely no opportunity to extract the egg liquid. Unyielding, Fang Chen unleashed various divine abilities, palm techniques, finger arts, lightning methods, and even the 5 magnetic divine light. Aside from that nascent soul realm Jade talisman, Fang Chen exhausted every capability at his disposal. He stood there panting heavily, yet the giant egg remained completely unscathed. Fang Chen's expression turned somewhat unsightly. To think I actually cannot do anything to it. Even Taoist 6 paths was somewhat speechless. A mountain of treasure stands right before you, yet you cannot enter. I suppose this is exactly what that saying means. Irritated, Fang Chen slammed his fist against the giant egg and cursed, "Detestable." He had braved such immense danger for nothing, practically snatching food from the jaws of an ancient giant, only to haul back this useless thing. Right at this moment, the giant egg began to tremble, emitting a flickering, indeterminate light. Within it, the faint projection of a colossal creature could be seen. Immediately following this, a hairline fracture split open on the eggshell, and a wisp of egg liquid, the length of a finger and infused with a trace of essence blood, trickled out. The fracture then swiftly sealed shut, restoring the shell to its pristine state, as if nothing had ever happened, leaving only that single streak of liquid to slide down the egg's surface. Taoist Six Paths muttered in sheer astonishment, "Why do I feel like this giant egg is mocking you? Seeing how hard you worked to no avail, it decided to give you a little handout." Fang Chen's face darkened to the extreme, dropped the feel like, "This bastard is definitely mocking me." In his hand, he gripped the ancient mirror of mind reflection. The moment the projection appeared, Fang Chen's heart stirred, and he retrieved the mirror to see if he could read the thoughts of the fetus within the giant egg and gather some information along the way. Who could have known that what he would hear were words that made his blood boil with rage? "What a formidable little brother. Your fierce flurry of moves looked as ferocious as a tiger, but your harvest is that of a fool. Cluck, cluck, cluck." This eccentric and sarcastic mockery was truly infuriating. Fang Chen kicked the giant egg violently. "You damned egg, believe it or not, I will send you right back to the ancient giant and let him suck you dry. This little brat is already so detestable before even hatching. What will happen when it actually comes out? Send me back, go on, send me back. If you send me away, who will give you true spirit blood? Do you think I am afraid of you?" At this moment, Taoist Six Paths was also eavesdropping through the ancient mirror of mind reflection. Upon hearing these words, he too was so enraged that he blew into his beard and glared furiously. Damn it all, this brat was truly begging for a beating. Veins bulged and throbbed on Fang Chen's forehead. In his mind, he had already greeted its mother several times over. Just what kind of morally bankrupt descendant was born here? So thoroughly unlikable. "Enjoy your smugness while it lasts," Fang Chen said with a dark expression. "Sooner or later, I will smash your eggshell to pieces and drain you dry of your true spirit blood." The giant egg replied in an utterly nonchalant tone, "Don't just flap your lips, make your move. I am waiting for you to drain me dry. Do you even have the capability? Humph." "Motherfucker," Taoist Six Paths completely lost his composure. "Brat Fang, let me out. I shall enter the egg with my soul to teach this ill-bred little bastard a harsh lesson." Fang Chen shot him a disdainful glare. If he wished to flee, he should speak plainly instead of weaving such clumsy schemes. The clatter of his transparent schemes was practically splashing against his own face. Casting a glance at the arrogant giant egg, Fang Chen shifted his gaze toward the desolate, empty shrine perched upon its back. Within the shrine, waves of yin kai surged forth in an unending stream. The secret chamber had become chillingly cold, saturated by the pervasive yin kai. Gazing upon the ancient mirror of heart reflection, Fang Chen pondered Liu Dao. This ancient mirror of heart reflection was once enshrined within that small temple. Venerable Liu Dao nodded. Indeed, it was enshrined within the temple like a divine idol. "The moment I retrieved it, that despicable tiger demon emperor launched a treacherous sneak attack from behind. Fortunately, I was clever." Ignoring his rambling, Fang Chen leapt onto the giant egg and restored the ancient mirror of heart reflection to its place. In an instant, the giant egg shuddered violently, as if struck by a profound suppression. Wretched wails erupted from within the egg. "Big brother, have mercy. Take that mirror away, I beg of you." Abandoning its former insolence, the little brat surrendered immediately. Fang Chen gave a slight, satisfied nod. It appeared the ancient mirror of heart, reflection, served the purpose of suppressing the giant egg. Yet if this giant egg was the descendant of a sage, why was it being suppressed? Disinclined to delve deeper, Fang Chen asked with a smirk, still feeling arrogant. "No, no more. Big brother, I was wrong. Please spare me." "I'll meow for you. Meow, meow, meow." Fang Chen's lip twitched at the sight. This little brat certainly knew how to adapt to the circumstances. Fang Chen commanded, "I want your true spirit blood. Hand it over." "Yes, yes, I will give it." Being most cooperative, the giant egg cracked open once more, leaking a vast quantity of egg fluid and essence blood. Fang Chen hastily caught it with a jade box, filling it to the brim. However, the majority of it was merely egg fluid. The essence blood was pitiably scarce. "Such a meager amount of true spirit blood. Who are you trying to fool?" The giant egg projected a sense of agony, Big brother, I have been drained by that ancient giant for 1,000 years. How much true spirit blood could possibly remain? This is nearly all I have. I have only kept a sliver for myself to barely sustain my life. Once I have recuperated and my true spirit blood is replenished, I can give you more. Fang Chen did not particularly doubt its words. That ancient giant had devoured vast amounts of essence blood in a single gulp after 1,000 years of such feeding. It would be a miracle if the giant egg had much essence blood left at all. To forcibly take all the true spirit blood now would be akin to killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. How can you be restored quickly? Fang Chen inquired. The giant egg brightened with joy. It is simple. Give me some of that power of thunder and lightning you used earlier. Or some other natural power. Fang Chen retrieved the ancient mirror of heart reflection, ending the exchange. Forget, I asked. He was lacking in the power of thunder himself. Where would he find some to conjure up for a mere broken egg? He withdrew the giant egg back into the heavenly thunder stone. Fang Chen then proceeded to separate the essence blood from the egg fluid. The dark red essence blood was crystal clear, devoid of impurities, resembling a piece of blood jade. Waves of staggering spiritual pressure radiated slowly from it. It was so potent that even the blood within Fang Chen's body was affected, beginning to boil violently in response. The essence blood of the tiger demon emperor he had seen before was utterly insignificant when compared to this sliver of true spirit blood. He clicked his tongue in secret. Can such true spirit blood truly be consumed? Fang Chen had suffered agonizing pain when swallowing the tiger demon's essence blood. Would this true spirit blood not incinerate him into ash and smoke on the spot? After a brief moment of hesitation, he began to circulate the Brahma Saint true spirit method. Following a specialized path of energy circulation, he simultaneously dissolved this single strand of true spirit blood into the spiritual liquid. It was divided among 100 small jade vials, diluted 100-fold. There should be no further issues, Fang Chen muttered to himself. Then, with the utmost caution, he took a single sip. In that one instant, the liquid nearly incinerated Fang Chen's mouth. He felt as though what he had just swallowed was not a draught of water, but churning molten magma. Such agony was far beyond what any ordinary mortal could endure. Even Fang Chen, who had endured countless hardships in his body, tempering cultivation, found it almost unbearable. He nearly spat the liquid out in a violent reflex. Yet, remembering that this was a shortcut to supreme power, he forced himself to swallow it amidst the searing pain. The agony spread from his mouth to his throat, then to his stomach, and finally through his internal organs. Billows of black smoke rose from his skin, as if he were on the very verge of combustion. The master of 6 paths was startled. Boy, can you handle this? If not, then cease this cultivation at once. This body tempering technique of yours is terrifying. You are literally being scorched until you emit smoke. The master of 6 paths was a man of vast experience. Body cultivators were not as rare in the outer realms as they were in the land of the 9 sects. He had seen many, but this was the first time he witnessed someone cultivating in such an extreme and suicidal manner. This was quite literally gambling with his life for the sake of cultivation. Fang Chen gritted his teeth against the searing torment and immediately circulated the Brahma Holy True Spirit technique, yet this did not alleviate the pain. Instead, the agony intensified. Though his consciousness blurred from the sheer torment, he continued to persevere with iron will. After several cycles of energy circulation, his consciousness finally shattered, and he collapsed unconscious on the spot. After an unknown passage of time, he stirred awake, the lingering shadows of agony still visible in his eyes. The medicinal efficacy of that strand of true spirit blood remained, though it was no longer as violent as before. Boy, stop this at once. I fear you cannot withstand consuming the true spirit blood in such a manner, the master of 6 paths urged. The master of 6 paths counseled him, marveling at the intensity of pain required to render a cultivator unconscious. Fang Chen gritted his teeth, picked up the unfinished vial, and drained it in a single gulp. He had too many tasks left unfinished, and too many people waiting for him. He could not perish in the territory of the demon race. He had to augment every ounce of his strength to secure his escape. With a heavy exhale as the 100-fold, diluted true spirit blood entered his gut blood. Colored auras erupted from Fang Chen's mouth like leaping flames. Thick plumes of black smoke billowed from his entire being, placing him on the precipice of incineration. Yet Fang Chen recklessly continued to circulate the Brahma Holy True Spirit technique. Before long, he once again succumbed to the agonizing pain and lost consciousness. This sight reduced the master of 6 paths to absolute silence. After a long silence, he sighed with such willpower. How many of the paragons in the outer realms could possibly compare to him? If he were granted protection, he would surely carve out a place for himself within the vast expanse of the outer realms. And so it continued. Time and again, Fang Chen fainted from the pain, and time and again, he dragged himself up to resume his cultivation. 5 full days passed. As Fang Chen consumed the final vial of diluted spiritual liquid, the pain remained, yet he did not even flinch. 5 days of infernal cultivation had drastically bolstered his threshold for endurance. Ordinary agony could no longer force him into unconsciousness. Such a desperate sacrifice finally yielded its harvest. Spreading his arms, he uttered a low cry, "God, Lord of the vast expanse." From within his body, strands of golden energy overflowed, weaving together behind his back. As the currents multiplied, they eventually coalesced into a blurry 100-foot-tall golden phantom. It was magnificent and heroic, radiating a brilliant golden luster. With 8 arms outstretched, it emitted a world, illuminating radiance, resembling an 8-armed deity. As Fang Chen struck forward with a palm, the 100-foot divine phantom moved. 2 of its 8 palms blasted forth in unison with him. 2 gales of golden fist force erupted in an instant. Rumble, the stone door of the secret chamber, was swept by the golden fist force, instantly disintegrating into fine powder. The fist's gale, its momentum unyielding, shattered the grand hall's walls, pierced through the demon emperor's palace, and soared into the heavens, plunging into a dense expanse of demonic clouds. Within the demonic clouds, the demon emperor, seated in meditative repose, abruptly opened his eyes. With a mere lift of his hand, he seized 2 faint orbs of golden light within his palm, a subtle sensation of piercing pain coursing through his skin. The demon emperor narrowed his eyes. What manner of thing is this, such an overbearing power? He rose to his feet, following the residual golden afterimage, his gaze fixed upon the lapis lazuli palace. Fang Chen, what manner of technique does he cultivate? A hint of uncertainty clouded the demon emperor's eyes. Even he felt a stirring of desire for this cultivation method. Considering the necessity of cooperation with Fang Chen for the time being, he closed his eyes, resuming his cross-legged posture. Within the secret chamber, Fang Chen gazed upon the shattered stone door, the collapsed walls of the palace, and the golden afterimage stretching to the horizon in the heavens. Even the venerable 6 paths could not help but inhale a breath of cold air. Boy, what unholy abomination have you cultivated? The might of this palm strike, few below the 9th layer of the golden core realm could withstand it. Fang Chen, too, remained speechless for a long moment. The divine elephant, one of the 4 symbols he cultivated, was limited by the true spirit's blood, reaching only the lesser completion stage. Yet even this level of power left Fang Chen utterly awestruck. The divine apparition behind him extended only 2 arms. What power would it wield with all 8 arms unleashed? What manner of might would it unleash? Fang Chen even felt that invincibility within the golden core realm was a conservative estimate. He could likely contend against even a nascent soul realm expert. His eyes burned with fervor. If he could acquire more true spirit's blood and cultivate the divine elephant to perfection, in this era, he could absolutely stride unhindered, fearing no foe. Fang Chen, what devilry are you up to, creating such a monumental commotion? Leeli, disturbed from her distant chamber, chided slightly. What if you frightened our child? The corner of Fang Chen's mouth twitched. Subsequently, Fang Chen discovered a jade bottle filled with egg liquid, a spiritual elixir for nurturing the descendants of the demon race's sages. Harmless to humans, it was an absolute treasure to the demonic race. He separated a small bottle, saying, "Then drink a little of this." Leeli subconsciously accepted it, and upon inhaling the aura of the egg liquid, felt instantly refreshed. A yearning from the depths of her soul shocked her even more. What is this, it seems, extraordinary? Fang Chen suddenly realized that Leeli was the demon emperor's daughter. What treasures had she not seen? How could she become so agitated? The egg liquid's importance to the demonic race seemed even more precious than he had anticipated. I concocted a prenatal elixir, drink it. Prenatal elixir, Leeli found it looked nothing like one. But her intuition told her that this was undoubtedly a treasure. Without much hesitation, she drained it in one gulp. Its aftertaste was cool and silky, and strands of mysterious power permeated her very being. Asterisk crack, crack asterisk, a qualitative transformation occurred within her body. Her demonic aura surged from the 5th layer of the golden core realm directly to the 6th layer. Subsequently, it ascended from the 6th layer to the 7th layer, finally settling at the peak of the 7th layer of the golden core realm. As if that were not enough, her bloodline talent also improved. A faint, primordial image of a Teng snake flashed behind her. Far away in the demonic clouds, the demon emperor seemed to sense something, his eyes snapping open with a trace of astonishment. Who has awakened an ancient bloodline? He stood up, surveying his surroundings, but the aura had vanished in a flash, impossible to pursue. How could this be? The modern demon race is separated from their ancestors by thousands of years, their bloodlines exceedingly thin. How could an ancient bloodline awaken? The demon emperor found it beyond belief, even doubting if his senses had erred. Within the glazed imperial palace. With a slow unfurling, Liu Lai opened her eyes, perceiving the profound transformation that had wrought itself upon her, from within to without, and her gaze widened in incredulous astonishment. I have reached the 7th layer of the golden core realm. My bloodline seems to have undergone a qualitative leap. Overflowing with delight and surprise, she exclaimed, Fang Chen, what exactly did you give me to drink? It's utterly heaven-defying. Fang Chen calmly replied, as I've said, it is merely a prenatal elixir. You must never speak of this outside. These are all prepared solely for you. Should knowledge of them leak, and others come demanding them, shall I give or shall I refuse? Of course not, Liu Lai hastily asserted. These are prepared for our child. If you dare to give them to any other outsider, I shall tear you to shreds. For such a heaven-defying prenatal elixir to bestow such immense benefits upon her, the mother, she dared not fathom the astonishing advantages her unborn child within her womb had acquired. If she were to continue consuming it, would the child be born directly into the late-stage golden core realm? Or perhaps even the nascent soul realm? Pondering this, her exquisite eyes shimmered with a radiant glow. Fang Chen was even more astonished than she. The efficacy of this egg essence was truly more heaven-defying than even 1,000-year clam's flesh. Besides immensely elevating the cultivation realm of the demon race, it had actually awakened a mysterious bloodline within them. The fleeting purple Teng snake that had manifested moments ago had not escaped Fang Chen's keen sight. That bloodline, he mused, might very well be on par with that of the demon emperor. Should such an item ever become known, even the demon emperor himself would surely cast aside all pretense to seize it. Therefore, he had deceived Liu Lai into believing it was merely a prenatal elixir. Her fervent protection of the child within her womb made her even more anxious than Fang Chen about outsiders discovering the existence of such a miraculous prenatal elixir. Very well, they are all for our child, Fang Chen said, a wry smile playing on his lips. Only then did Liu Lai relax, gently caressing her burgeoning belly, her eyes aglow with the radiance of maternal love. When she looked at Fang Chen again, her gaze held less of the prior disdain. She lightly huffed. It seems you still possess some sense of responsibility as a father. Since you have procured such precious prenatal elixirs for our child, I shall forgive you for the misdeeds you committed against me in the past. However, this does not signify my acceptance of you as my husband. Henceforth, we shall still sleep in separate chambers, remaining merely a couple in name. Fang Chen merely shrugged. I couldn't ask for more. Liu Lai gritted her silver teeth. What is this fellow feigning? Back then, when he ravaged her until she could barely stand, when he swelled her belly, wasn't he brimming with the vigor of a dragon and the ferocity of a tiger? Yet now he acts utterly indifferent, a heartless wretch who pulls up his trousers and forgets all. At this very moment, a demoness attendant came to report, Young Master Liu Lai, Lady Ling Shu has learned of your release from confinement and specifically invites you to jointly decipher the relic. Casket of the Tiger Demon Emperor. Liu Lai snorted, deciphering the relic casket of the Tiger Demon Emperor. That wretched casket is covered entirely in ancient demonic script. No one can even recognize it. She merely knows I am to marry a human, and wishes to mock me, does she not? She understood Ling Shu all too well. As one of the 4 stars of the demon race, Ling Shu had always resented her, the daughter of the demon emperor, and constantly vied with her in every aspect. Her impending marriage to a human, which had become the common gossip among the entire demon race, must surely have provided Ling Shu with endless amusement. A slight stir rippled through Fang Chen's heart, the relic casket of the Tiger Demon Emperor, adorned with ancient demonic script. Could it be a casket that requires the deciphering of ancient demonic script to open? A single vial of the Tiger Demon Emperor's essence blood was already considered a sacred treasure for body refiners. Could a casket specifically sealed with ancient demonic script truly be simple? Fang Chen was intensely intrigued. He possessed a proficiency in certain demonic scripts. Perhaps he could unlock the relic casket. Secondly, this excursion to the gathering would entail a temporary departure from the Demon Emperor's court. Would there be an opportunity to escape? This could be a prime chance to break free from the demon race. However, Leeli was clearly resistant, appearing unwilling to go. Fang Chen's gaze shifted subtly as he spoke. Leeli, since this woman harbors ill intentions, let us momentarily avoid her sharp edge. At worst, we shall simply be mocked. We shall merely pretend not to hear it. The first two sentences resonated with Leeli's sentiments, but upon hearing the last, her brow furrowed in a frown. What do you mean, am I, the daughter of the Demon Emperor, to fear her? Furthermore, why should I endure? Return and tell her I shall arrive precisely on time. Fang Chen chuckled inwardly. This tactic of provocation, Leeli could not resist in the slightest. His gaze shifted once more, and Fang Chen calmly remarked, "How can that be? You carry a fetus. What if its vital essence were to be harmed? It would be better if I accompanied you." "What would you go for? Are you not ashamed to embarrass me further?" Leeli retorted, vexed. Others were clearly mocking her for marrying a human. If Fang Chen were to accompany her, would it not bring her even greater humiliation? The attendant, however, cast a wary glance at Fang Chen, then reported, "Lady Ling Shu also said that if young Master Leeli does not mind, you may bring your fiancé along. If you do mind, then consider her words unsaid, so as not to cause young Master any difficulty." Fang Chen rubbed his nose. Such a manipulative ploy assailed him, a rhetoric clearly crafted after thoroughly understanding Leeli's temperament. As expected, Leeli could not endure such provocation. She declared, "What do you mean mind? What do you mean difficulty? What, is it so disgraceful for me to marry a human? Is he somehow inferior? I insist on bringing him. You shall come with me." Under Leeli's guidance, Fang Chen successfully departed from the Demon Emperor's court. He surveyed the environment outside the Demon Emperor's court. Like the 9 great sects, a vast urban cluster had formed around the court, with cities spanning dozens of miles in every direction. To escape, one would have to traverse the urban cluster with the utmost speed, for should the Demon Emperor's court issue a single command, the entire urban expanse stretching for dozens of miles would become an insurmountable barrier to Fang Chen. However, before he could even fully formulate his escape plan, the appearance of a colossal tiger shadow extinguished his nascent thoughts. The heaven-devouring tiger stood guard outside the Demon Emperor's court. As Leeli emerged, it humbly prostrated itself, extending its long, severed tiger tail before her like a bridge, upon which Leeli naturally stepped. The heaven-devouring tiger turned its massive head to face Fang Chen, speaking with subtle gravitas. "Human, you may depart the Demon Emperor's court, but you must harbor no extraneous intentions." These are the Demon Emperor's exact words. Fang Chen sighed. As expected, the Demon Emperor was indeed monitoring him, detecting his departure from the Demon Emperor's court instantly and dispatching a Demon King to accompany him. "The Demon Emperor certainly holds me in high regard," Fang Chen remarked, shrugging helplessly. Beneath the watchful eyes of the Demon Emperor, one should not harbor thoughts of escape, lest they be stripped even of the right to depart from the Demon Imperial Court. It is wiser to focus one's attention on the enigma of the Tiger Demon Emperor's relic casket. The sky-devouring tiger let out a cold chuckle. "I am but your protector. You are, after all, the public enemy of the demon race. What if some impulsive soul within the city decides to slay you?" "Protection, you mean surveillance." Fang Chen ground his heel heavily upon the sky-devouring tiger's severed tail and barked. "Why was it not your tongue that was severed?" "You talk far too much." A murderous glint instantly filled the sky-devouring tiger's eyes, and he lashed his tail upward, intent on striking Fang Chen. Was this scoundrel not well aware of how this tail had been lost? It was severed by that very same perilous violet sword of his. "You shall soon discover exactly how welcome you are amongst my kin." The sky-devouring tiger snorted, and with a flick of his tail, tossed Fang Chen onto his back. With majestic strides, he arrived before a grand establishment known as the Huicui Pavilion. From the outside, it appeared unremarkable, unable to rival even a slightly superior establishment in any city belonging to the 9 sects. Yet this was the sole restaurant within the Demon Emperor city. The demon race was naturally unrefined. Their penchant for wine was an affectation learned from humans. That this establishment could operate normally was entirely due to the patronage of the demon nobility. The arrival of the Skyed, devouring tiger, naturally drew gasps of awe from the nobles, who stepped forward one after another to pay their respects. Beneath the demon emperor sat the 5 great demon kings, who would dare to be negligent in their presence. Even the mistress of the Huicui Pavilion, a half-humanoid wolf exuding the aura of a war general, came forward with a beaming smile to welcome him. My, what grand wind has blown the great demon king to our doors. While the sky-devouring tiger could disregard others toward the half-humanoid wolf before him, he showed a measure of courtesy, saying, "The young master was invited to attend a gathering. I am charged with her protection." Since the half-humanoid she-wolf was herself a demon king, the sky-devouring tiger had to accord her some respect. "Ah, young master Leeli." Only then did the she-wolf notice Leeli upon the tiger's back. She immediately bowed with a radiant smile. "Young Master Leeli's presence brings unparalleled glory to this humble pavilion. The daughter of the demon emperor, who would dare not ground her face." Suddenly, she noticed a man sitting beside Leeli, his hands and feet bound in heavy chains, and she could not help but be taken aback. Who was this? Why was he shackled? Over the past few days, she had been away on a mission to slay desolate beasts, only returning the previous night. She remained ignorant of the events within the demon emperor's hall, and did not recognize the man before her as Fang Chen. With a mock smile, the sky-devouring tiger turned his head toward Fang Chen. "Care to introduce yourself?" Fang Chen remained indifferent. "If you do not fear the ensuing trouble, then what harm is there in an introduction? After all, if the collective wrath of the demon race were truly ignited, the sky-devouring tiger would have to risk his life to protect him. For if Fang Chen were to perish, the sky-devouring tiger would be unable to answer to the demon emperor." He was far more concerned about any mishap than Fang Chen himself. The sky-devouring tiger's smile stiffened, and the corners of his mouth began to twitch. No wonder the demon emperor had specifically cautioned him. This youth is exceptionally cunning and must not be underestimated. It was indeed so. The she-wolf was slightly stunned. "Great demon king, which noble scion is this? Could it be he possesses a truly profound identity?" The sky-devouring tiger coughed awkwardly in his helplessness. "He is an honored guest. See that you serve him well. Ask no further questions." The she-wolf's expression turned solemn as she immediately bowed. "Young master, this humble one has been impolite. Welcome to the Huicui Pavilion." The surrounding nobles also cast gazes of awe and trepidation. For the sky-devouring tiger to label someone an honored guest meant their identity was undoubtedly extraordinary. The crowd followed suit, their faces filled with reverence as they welcomed Fang Chen with exceptional fervor. Amidst the lively scene, before an open window of a second-floor private chamber, sat a young girl of delicate features. She rested her chin upon her snowy palm, quietly observing Fang Chen with a faint smile playing upon her lips. A gentle breeze drifted by, her long hair brushing against her shoulders and her sleeves fluttering lightly. She bore a striking resemblance to a girl from years past, turning to offer a smile from within a sun-dappled forest path. She let out a soft sigh. "Fang Chen of the human race, to think you would be so warmly received by our demon race. How truly unexpected." As soon as the words left her lips, the boisterous scene plummeted into an abrupt, chilling silence. It was as if a block of ice had been plunged into a cauldron of boiling water. The nobles were all frozen in place. Fang Chen, this man bound in chains, was Fang Chen. In the next heartbeat, a sky-toppling fury erupted within their eyes. "You are actually that human, Fang Chen. Curse you. Over 10,000 of our spectral legions fell by your hand, and 10 of our cities were trampled beneath your feet. After bringing such profound shame upon our demon race, you dare to show your face. To think I actually mistook you for a noble of our race, and even paid you my respects. Beat him to death." The she-wolf's countenance darkened instantly. "Great demon king Skyed, devouring tiger, what is the meaning of bringing such a person to my establishment? Do you wish for my Huicui Pavilion to be cursed alongside him by all of demonkind?" The sky-devouring tiger looked up toward the young girl, while Leeli also glared with fury. Upon recognizing the smiling girl, she gritted her teeth in rage. "Ling Shu?" The girl was none other than the organizer of today's gathering, one of the 4 prodigies, Ling Shu. Beside her walked a man with yellow scales upon his forehead and a majestic aura no less formidable than her own. He was another of the 4 prodigies, Hunyuan. "Doing this, you have offended both young Master Leeli and the sky-devouring Tiger King at once." Hunyuan frowned slightly. He did not believe that exposing Fang Chen and placing him in peril was a wise course of action. The clansmen who wish to slay Fang Chen are as numerous as the hairs on an ox. If he were to perish here, and the demon emperor sought accountability, you would be in grave trouble. Regardless of how much shame Fang Chen has brought upon the demon race, he is now the demon emperor's son-in-law, and no harm must befall him. Should any untoward incident occur, neither the direct nor indirect culprits shall escape their rightful punishment. Resting her chin upon her delicate hand, Lingshu maintained her faint smile. What exactly are you worried about? Would the heaven, devouring tiger demon king, permit such a thing to occur? Fang Chen shall not perish. He will merely suffer a bit of humiliation. Meeting Leeli's furious glare, she offered a radiant smile and gave a light wave of her hand. Humiliation, in this case, meant being utterly disgraced and battered into the dust. Gazing upon Fang Chen, who was completely encircled by hundreds of aristocratic demons, Hunyuan could not help but feel his scalp tingle with dread. Even with the formidable protection of the heaven, devouring tiger demon king, escaping unscathed would be a monumental task. After all, Fang Chen had ignited public fury. Should they swarm him en masse, even the heaven, devouring tiger could not deflect every blow. A severe battering was inevitable. Glancing sideways at Lingshu's exquisitely elegant profile, he clicked his tongue in awe. When you women scheme against one another, you are truly merciless. Lingshu's true target was not Fang Chen, but rather the humiliation of Leeli. If Leeli's chosen companion was reduced to a battered hound before the grand banquet even commenced, what shred of dignity would remain for the princess? Lingshu offered a faint, graceful smile. I am merely testing the waters on Leeli's behalf. As the exalted daughter of the demon emperor, her future husband must be a true dragon amongst mortals. If he cannot weather such a trivial spectacle, how could he possibly assist her in ruling the demon race in the days to come? Her words were masterfully spun, yet the eager glint in her eyes betrayed her true desires. She deeply anticipated witnessing Fang Chen make an utter fool of himself. Furthermore, she could fathom no viable method for Fang Chen to escape this plight. A disgraceful defeat was nothing short of inevitable. Sweeping his predatory, tiger-like gaze across the perimeter, the heaven, devouring tiger demon king let out a low, thunderous roar. What is the meaning of this? Do you intend to rebel? This is the demon emperor's ordained son-in-law. What exactly do you propose to do? Such was the fearsome majesty of a demon king. His overwhelming aura and resounding words instantly cowed the restless crowd into a momentary, breathless silence. The sole exception was the half-beast wolf matriarch. Backed by the authority of another demon king, she harbored little dread towards the heaven, devouring tiger. With a darkened visage, she snarled, Heaven, devouring tiger, if you wish to shelter this human, that is beyond my jurisdiction. But he shall never set foot within my gathering eminence pavilion. He is entirely unwelcome. Rendered speechless, the heaven, devouring tiger cast a deferential glance toward Leeli, silently awaiting her command. Leeli found herself trapped in an abyss of embarrassment, gripped by a profound urge to simply turn on her heel and depart. Yet, standing by the second-floor window, Lingshu gazed down at her with a mocking, half-concealed smile. To retreat now would be tantamount to a wretched surrender. However, the wolf matriarch was iron-willed in barring Fang Chen's entry. Could Leeli truly resort to sheer force against the proprietor? The blame could only fall upon Fang Chen for inciting such colossal public wrath. Turning her head to regard Fang Chen, she decreed, Return with the heaven, devouring tiger, I shall attend this banquet alone. Yet, having already arrived at the threshold, how could Fang Chen possibly retreat so easily? Moreover, the more they sought to deny him entry, the more fiercely he resolved to cross those very doors. Fang Chen spoke with an unshakable calm. A grand pavilion opens its doors to conduct business. Since you refuse to welcome guests, what purpose does keeping it open serve? Allow me to tear this place down for you. Bang, the wolf matriarch slammed her heavy claw onto the earth, fracturing the solid ground into a web of jagged fissures. Tear down my pavilion. Just who gave you such audacious gall? Utterly preposterous. This human named Fang Chen displayed not a shred of awareness that he was heavily besieged, and his arrogant declaration thoroughly ignited the smoldering fury of the restless demonic nobility. Among their ranks were direct tribal kin of the demon kings themselves. They had previously stayed their hands out of respect for the heaven, devouring tiger, but faced with Fang Chen's suicidal arrogance, their tolerance finally shattered. Wretched cur, you are courting death. A formidable war king, boasting a cultivation at the 6th level of the Golden Core realm, launched the first strike. Wielding a fist as heavy as a mountain, he viciously sought to smash Fang Chen to a pulp. Yet, before he could even draw near, a sweeping tiger's tail violently lashed out, sending him flying through the air. The heaven-devouring tiger released an earth-shattering roar. Let me see who dares to lay a hand on him. However, the torrential tides of public fury had already surged. With one taking the vanguard, the rest flooded forward to unleash their strikes. Their cultivation levels varied drastically. The mightiest stood at the 6th level of the Golden Core realm, while the weakest among them had not even attained the mantle of Beast King. Regardless of their prowess, they all viciously scrambled to exact their vengeance. The heaven-devouring tiger shot a profoundly irked glare toward Fang Chen. Fully aware that he had provoked the wrath of the masses, why did he still insist on acting with such unbridled arrogance? Every demon participating in this siege belonged to the exalted nobility. Bound by their status, he could not deliver lethal blows, forced instead to heavily restrain his immense power merely to repel their advance. Witnessing the heaven-devouring tiger stay his hand, the initially apprehensive demons cast aside all lingering reservations, swarming into the fray to unleash their unbridled fury. In an instant, the Grand Plaza devolved into a maelstrom of absolute chaos. Prismatic gales of fist force, bizarre and myriad bloodline talents, and glowing spheres of devastating, fluctuating power uniformly bombarded Fang Chen. The heaven-devouring tiger fiercely channeled his vast demonic energy, struggling exhaustively to weather the torrential onslaught. Yet, amidst the tempest, Fang Chen remained impeccably composed. Far from displaying an ounce of fear, he struck back with precise, calculated retaliation. Dragon's regret, orthodox heavenly method of the 5 thunders, void, flowing thunder force. Every so often, a demonic aristocrat would be struck by these mighty techniques, sent flying amidst agonizing, unending shrieks. Yet, the moment they retaliated with blind fury, he would smoothly slip back into the impregnable cover behind the heaven-devouring tiger's massive ear. His strategy was simple, yet profound. I can strike you down, yet you are powerless to retaliate. The demonic beasts that had launched their attacks roared incessantly. Shameless wretch, if you have the courage, descend and face us in single combat. What kind of man hides behind a demonic king? Fang Chen merely curled his lips, retorting, only a fool would descend. He struck without the slightest reservation, each devastating blow injuring a swath of foes. Human, cease your assault at once. At that moment, the half-wolf mother let loose a frustrated, exasperated roar. For she had realized that this wretched Fang Chen, with every technique he unleashed, intentionally aimed towards her esteemed establishment. Residual attacks, one after another, slammed into the wine pavilion, either shattering its grand doors into gaping holes, crumbling sections of its walls, or demolishing its ornate windows. The esteemed guests within the pavilion fled in disarray and panic. With such wanton destruction, all commerce had become utterly impossible. Fang Chen sighed regretfully, stating, "My fists and feet know no eyes, you cannot fault me." Having spoken, he unleashed another formidable palm strike towards a demonic beast, and the residual force of the blow directly tore away a section of the pavilion's roof. Fang Chen, the half-wolf mother, gritted her teeth, her anger palpable. She had finally discerned his malicious intent. This fellow was deliberately dismantling her wine pavilion, seeking retribution for her earlier refusal. Cease this madness at once. I shall permit you entry into my wine pavilion. Is that not sufficient? The half-wolf mother conceded. While the chaotic battle might inflict only minor, superficial injuries upon the demonic beasts, allowing them to rise and shake off the dust with little consequence, she herself was suffering very real, substantial damage. The Huicui Pavilion was the culmination of decades of her painstaking effort. Should it be utterly destroyed, she would find no solace, no place for her lamentations. Devise your own means to enter. Should you fail, however, you cannot lay blame upon me. The half-wolf mother added, her voice firm. Only then did Fang Chen cease his assault, smiling as he declared, "You should have spoken sooner. Leeli, let us proceed." Leeli gazed upon the surging tide of demonic beasts that encircled them from every direction. Her eyes wide with bewilderment. How are we to pass? Are we to fly? The demonic beasts below unleashed furious roars in turn. This vile wretch, does he truly believe he can enter the Huicui Pavilion right before our very eyes? Should he succeed in entering today, I shall write my name backwards. I lay down my decree right here. Unless he sprouts wings, he shall not take a single step into the Huicui Pavilion. Within a private chamber on the 2nd floor, Ling Shu let out a soft chuckle. This is proving rather interesting. To wish to part these enraged demonic beasts without enduring some suffering, surely he cannot possess the ability to traverse the void like a cultivator of the nascent soul realm. Yet in the very next instant, her expression froze in stunned disbelief. Fang Chen offered a faint smile, then bent down, scooped up Leeli, and with a daring leap, descended from the back of the sky-devouring tiger, which towered dozens of zhang high. The demonic beasts below roared in unison. He has descended. Strike, strike him unto death. Do not let him escape. The demonic beasts surged forward like a tumultuous tide, fiercely launching their assaults upon Fang Chen. Countless streaks of light, gale, force fist winds, and potent leg strikes assailed them, interwoven into a tapestry of immense power, causing even the sky-devouring tiger to assume a solemn expression, poised to intervene and shield the duo. Abruptly, a streak of violet light materialized, sweeping to Fang Chen's feet, gently lifting both him and Leeli, suspending them effortlessly in midair. Leeli, feeling the whistling wind and her heart pounding throughout their descent, had cried out, "Are you intending to drag me into a beating as well?" Yet, to her surprise, their plummeting descent abruptly halted. She had initially believed the sky-devouring tiger had intervened to catch them. But upon glancing upwards, she saw the sky-devouring tiger staring at Fang Chen with an expression akin to having witnessed a phantom. The enraged demonic beasts below also appeared to have beheld something utterly terrifying, for each of them abruptly ceased their attacks, their eyes filled with astonishment and doubt. The scene, moments before filled with murderous roars, plunged into profound silence. All eyes were fixed upon Fang Chen, motionless for... At this very moment, Fang Chen stood aloft, his feet resting upon a shimmering sword, suspended in the boundless air. Among humanity, only one type of individual possesses the ability to float in the air, a grand cultivator of the nascent soul realm. A deathly silence enveloped their surroundings. Only Fang Chen remained composed, his expression serene as he casually commanded, "Proceed." At his command, with a swift whoosh, the violet sword beneath their feet carried the duo, soaring directly to the window of the private chamber on the second floor. Ling Shu gazed upon Fang Chen, who had traversed the void to arrive, and for a moment she stood transfixed, utterly forgetting to step aside. "Fair maiden, do you not welcome us to join your gathering?" His warm, mellow voice drifted into her ears. And only then did Ling Shu awaken as if from a dream, hastily stepping aside to make way. Her mind was still spinning, unable to process or believe what had just unfolded before her eyes. Treading upon the void, a miraculous feat that only human nascent soul realm experts or demon race demon emperors could achieve. Could it be that Leeli's fiancé was actually a mighty expert of the nascent soul realm? But she quickly regained her senses. If Fang Chen were truly at the nascent soul realm, how could he have ended up as a captive? He must have cultivated some heaven-defying cultivation method that allowed him to fly on a sword. Yet even so, it was utterly astounding. It was her first time hearing of a golden core martial cultivator capable of executing the void, treading methods of the nascent soul realm. Tap, as Fang Chen landed, he carefully supported Leeli to sit down and spoke in a gentle tone. "It didn't frighten our child, did it?" Leeli's mind was completely blank. It took her quite a while to recover, and just as she was about to ask Fang Chen what kind of heaven-defying method he had used, she realized that Ling Shu was right beside her. She immediately sat up straight and adopted an aloof posture, adjusting her tone. "I'm fine. Just fly a bit slower and steadier next time. To think you've cultivated such a simple sword, flight technique into this state. I truly wonder how you usually practice your cultivation." PFFD, Fang Chen suppressed a chuckle. The moment Leeli met her mortal rival, she seemed to transform into a completely different person. This pretentious tone was absolutely spot on. Ling Shu pursed her lips slightly. Without a doubt, she had been thoroughly flexed upon by Leeli's ostentatious display. According to the plan, Fang Chen was supposed to arrive utterly disgraced, humiliating Leeli. The reality, however, was the exact opposite. Fang Chen's masterful sword, flight, had shaken the entire venue, bringing Leeli to the gathering in the most majestic and awe-inspiring manner. Suppressing the displeasure in her heart, she forced a smile. "Leeli, I am truly sorry. I was merely marveling at how popular your fiancé is. I never expected it would lead to such consequences." Leeli sneered inwardly. Wretched green tea bitch. If Fang Chen didn't possess some actual skill, he would have been utterly ruined by your schemes today. She gave a faint smile, maintaining the elegant poise befitting the daughter of a demon emperor. "It was merely a trivial scene. My fiancé can handle it with ease." Ling Shu secretly ground her silver teeth. Is there no end to her boasting? So what if her fiancé can fly on a sword? Big deal. She speaks as if she is the only one with a man to elevate her. Turning her head, she looked toward Hunyuan not far away, who was currently scrutinizing Fang Chen with sheer astonishment. That masterful display of sword flight had shocked him to the core as well. If this method was not the void, treading of the nascent soul realm, then it must be a supreme sword art, profound enough to transcend the understanding of the demon race. No wonder he could defeat Zixing. This person truly possesses some extraordinary capabilities. Sensing Lingshu's gaze, Hunyuan looked over in confusion and asked, "What is the matter?" Lingshu replied, "Brother Hunyuan, aside from us, the 10 stars and a senior elder of the demon race are also present today. We cannot afford to neglect them. Let us prepare the banquet in advance." As she spoke, her lively eyes shifted suggestively. Both being among the 4 paragons, the two had known each other for a long time and frequently undertook missions together, sharing a profound mutual understanding. Hunyuan pondered for a brief moment and instantly grasped Lingshu's intent, his mouth twitching involuntarily. Lingshu had been suppressed by Leeli and wanted to reclaim her lost prestige. Women, Hunyuan sighed inwardly, but could only play along, laughing heartily. But of course. He brought out a beast's skin pouch he carried with him, withdrawing identically sized blocks of ice from within, each encasing a cluster of pristine, fresh spirit meat. Distributing them one by one onto the serving platters, he introduced, "This is 10-year-old spirit meat to be used for entertaining our honored guests shortly. Young Master Leeli, please do not disdain it." Leeli cast a glance over them. They were all high-grade spirit meats, and being of a 10-year vintage, they were exclusively found at grand, high-tier banquets. This level of hospitality was certainly not lacking. At this moment, Lingshu sat down rather feebly and said, "Brother Hunyuan, I practiced my fist techniques for too long last night, and my body feels a bit fatigued. I shall rest for a moment. Please entertain young Master Leeli well in my stead." Hunyuan chuckled bitterly in his heart, fully aware that Lingshu wanted him to elevate her status and show off right in front of young Master Leeli. Left with no choice, he feigned an expression of deep heartache. "Sister Lingshu, you have indeed been working too hard recently for the sake of our North Sea demon race. I have visited numerous tribes to seek out a cluster of century-old spirit meat just for you. Consume it and restore your vitality." He produced another block of ice. The spirit meat sealed within clearly emanated a much denser spiritual kai, a grade far superior to what was laid out upon the banquet table. Lingshu assumed an expression of flattering astonishment. "Ah, century-old spirit meat, Brother Hunyuan, this is far too precious. How could I possibly accept such a gift?" Hunyuan chuckled softly. "It is merely a token of my regard. If Sister Lingshu refuses, it would deeply break my heart." Lingshu's face flushed red, revealing a coy bashfulness. Half rejecting yet inviting, she murmured, "Since Brother Hunyuan puts it that way, how could I possibly refuse?" Promptly, she turned her head toward Leeli. "Young Master Leeli, I could not possibly finish so much century-old spirit meat all by myself. Why don't we share it? I would feel quite embarrassed eating it alone." Burning with irritation inside, Leeli thought, "Wretched green tea bitch. Does receiving century-old spirit meat from a man really warrant such a boastful display?" Remaining expressionless, she replied coldly, "There is no need. I am not hungry." Relishing her triumph, Lingshu pressed the attack. "Leeli, please do not be polite with me. You are the daughter of a demon emperor. How could you eat 10-year vintage spirit meat while I consumed century-old? If word reached the tribes, our elders would surely scold me for not knowing proper etiquette." Creak. Leeli secretly clenched her fists, her heart ablaze with towering fury, yet entirely unable to lash out. Century-old spirit meat was incredibly rare and serendipitous to find. She could not procure a second piece, much less arrange beforehand for Fang Chen to enact a similar charade to Hunyuan's. In this round, she had undoubtedly fallen to the disadvantage. Fang Chen's eyelid twitched. It was said that wherever 2 women gather, there is a play, but the drama here was simply too profound. However, he absolutely could not stand by and watch Leeli be bullied. If this fiery little chili pepper had enough, flipped the table and stormed off, he would be forced to follow her, entirely losing his chance to catch a glimpse of that tiger demon Emperor Yuli. With a gentle and warm chuckle, he said, "Leeli, Lady Lingshu is entirely correct. 10-year vintage spirit meat is indeed unworthy of your noble status. Furthermore, you are carrying our child. You must not wrong yourself. You had better abstain from this 10-year spirit meat later, lest it upset your stomach and cause unnecessary trouble." Upset my stomach? Leeli was secretly speechless. No, seriously, did this fellow even know how to act? This was far too melodramatic. 10-year spirit meat was the premier staple of high-tier demon race banquets. Even demon emperors frequently partook in it. How was it her place, a mere demon emperor's daughter, to be so picky? And claiming it would upset her stomach, speaking such words, was he not afraid of being laughed out of the room? Lingshu was also taken aback for a moment, before she couldn't help but burst into a mocking laugh. She quickly covered her mouth and said, "My apologies, I did not intend to mock you, but it is my first time hearing such a statement, and I find it utterly unbelievable." Though her words were apologetic, the ridicule dancing in her eyes simply could not be concealed. That Fang Chen would attempt to elevate Leeli upon seeing her outshined was understandable. However, claiming that 10-year spirit meat would cause an upset stomach was going far beyond the bounds of reason, making him a downright laughingstock. Han Yuan's mouth twitched. This brat truly dared to spout anything. He was normally reluctant to eat 10-year spirit meat himself, and had prepared these platters for today's gathering with a painfully aching heart. Yet Fang Chen dared to declare that it would upset one's stomach. To belittle his offerings to such a degree was something he could absolutely not turn a blind eye to. Since you look down upon 10-year spirit meat, you must have surely prepared 100-year spirit meat for young Lord Leeli, correct? Why not bring it out and allow me to broaden my horizons? Leeli cursed inwardly in dismay. This was the consequence of boasting. Her counterpart had seized upon his grand words to strike at their weakness. If he could not produce 100-year spirit meat now, they would suffer utter humiliation. 100-year spirit meat, Fang Chen pondered for a moment before shaking his head slightly. I possess no such thing. Leeli's small face instantly fell. She glared at him with deep resentment and muttered, Are you trying to anger me to death? He had just allowed her to suppress Ling Shu's arrogance through the art of sword flight, only to turn around and make her lose face in the very next breath. Han Yuan curled his lip in disdain. So you don't actually have any? With such an arrogant tone, I truly thought you had prepared a wealth of divine treasures for young Lord Leeli. Ling Shu instantly felt a wave of delightful satisfaction, the stifling frustration from Leeli's ruthless flaunting vanishing like smoke and clouds. Her eyes darted with calculation. Holding that piece of 100-year spirit meat, she spoke, Leeli, it matters not. 100-year spirit meat is something that can only be encountered through serendipity, not sought. It is completely normal for your fiancé to lack such a treasure. Just refrain from speaking words that cause such misunderstandings in the future. If you are truly unwilling to consume 10-year spirit meat, then let us share this portion of 100-year spirit meat. Like hell, I'll eat your scraps. Leeli was secretly infuriated. If word spread that the daughter of the demon emperor had never seen true treasures and required another's alms just for a piece of spirit meat, she would be thoroughly humiliated. At this moment, Fang Chen spoke again. Leeli, do not eat the 100-year spirit meat either. Although it is slightly superior to the 10-year grade, it is still unworthy of our precious baby. Leeli felt the urge to hit someone. Why are you still talking? Do you think your earlier words weren't humiliating enough? Han Yuan's mouth twitched. Was this fellow's brain defective? Ling Shu curled her lip, finding the situation rather dull. Such foolish words were amusing the first time, but to utter them twice made it utterly tasteless. Yet, in the very next instant, a profound and intoxicating fragrance wafted through the air. It was the distinct aroma of supreme spirit meat. Whether for the demonic races or humanity, it possessed an irresistible, fatal allure. Is this the aroma of spirit meat? But how could it be so overwhelmingly dense? Han Yuan exclaimed in shock and suspicion, tracing the source of the fragrance. As a noble among demons, he had seen much of the world and had partaken of his fair share of 100-year spirit meat. Once, at a grand banquet hosted by the demon emperor, he had even tasted 300-year spirit meat. Its divine flavor and aroma remained vivid in his memory to this day. However, compared to the fragrance before him, the scent in his memory was utterly insignificant, to the point where he even doubted whether what he was currently smelling was spirit meat at all. Ling Shu abruptly raised her head, gazing around curiously as she spoke in disbelief. This is the fragrance of spirit meat. She, too, had never inhaled such an intensely rich aroma. Soon, their gazes locked onto the source. Fang Chen's palm. Resting upon his hand was a small, verdant lotus leaf, and atop this leaf sat a piece of spirit meat the size of an egg. Its luster was crystalline, as translucent as pure quartz, and the dense fragrance it emitted instantaneously saturated the entire private room. Han Yuan was the first to recognize it, drawing in a sharp breath of cold air, flesh like crystal. This is the distinct characteristic of the legendary 1,000-year spirit meat. Ling Shu shot to her feet on the spot, her beautiful eyes flickering with absolute disbelief. This is actually 1,000-year spirit meat. I fear even the demon emperor has never consumed spirit meat of the 1,000-year echelon. Leeli was equally astounded, opening her mouth to cry out in shock. But the moment she parted her lips, Fang Chen used a spoon to scoop up a piece of the spirit meat and fed it into her mouth, silencing her words. He offered a gentle smile. If we are to eat, we shall eat 1,000-year spirit meat. From now on, I forbid you from eating 100 year spirit meat, and you are absolutely not to touch the 10-year grade, do you hear me? Only then did Leeli awaken from her stupor. She cast a sidelong glance at the utterly astounded Ling Shu, forcefully suppressing the torrential shock in her heart as she began to chew meticulously. It entered her mouth with a sweet and divine taste, while an incomparably mighty spiritual energy swiftly nourished her physical form, granting her entire body an indescribable comfort. Had there not been an audience, she might have moaned aloud in pure bliss. After she finished, Fang Chen asked with a smile, how was the taste of the 1000-year spirit meat? Leeli withdrew a silk handkerchief and delicately dabbed her lips. Feigning fastidiousness, she remarked, the taste was acceptable, though slightly tough and lacking in texture. Next time, change it to a different variety of 1000-year spirit meat. This one is not to my liking. Fang Chen burst into roaring laughter within his heart, yet outwardly played along, whatever you desire. Shall we throw away the remaining bite, then? Leeli glanced at the remaining half, bite on the lotus leaf, forcing down her profound craving to present a facade of nonchalance. It is merely a bite of 1000-year spirit meat, is it not? Throw it away if you must. Why ask me over such trivial matters? Fang Chen nodded and casually prepared to toss it out the window. Ling Shu recoiled in subconscious horror. Wait, this is 1000-year spirit meat. You're just going to throw it away? Leeli shot her a glance, feigning an expression of careless oversight. Oh my, how could I forget Sister Ling Shu? Just moments ago, you did not forget to share your 100-year spirit meat with me. Since I am unaccustomed to the taste of this 1000-year spirit meat, I shall gift it to you. Ling Shu covertly gritted her teeth. What is the meaning of this? You offer me the unwanted scraps you were about to throw away. Am I a scavenger picking up trash? Her delicate face stiffened slightly. There is no need. I do not covet it. You had best throw it away. Upon hearing this, Han Yuan grew frantic. You two prodigal women, discarding 1000-year spirit meat. He cared nothing for matters of face or pride. Hastily intercepting Fang Chen, young Master Fang, do not throw it away, if possible. Could you perhaps gift it to me? These words infuriated Ling Shu to no end. Picking up the garbage others were about to throw away, was this not bringing immense humiliation upon her as well? Stamping her foot, she cried, Brother Han Yuan, it is merely a little 1000-year spirit meat, let it be thrown away, what is there to pity? Fang Chen nodded. Under the watchful gazes of the three, he casually tossed it out the window. At this moment, the heaven-devouring tiger was standing guard just beneath the window. Suddenly, an object plummeted from the heavens. Raising his tiger head, he realized it was a piece of meat. He could not help but grumble. Who is so utterly lacking in upbringing as to indiscriminately toss their garbage? But when he saw clearly that it was 1000-year spirit meat, his tiger eyes widened into round saucers, and he caught it in his jaws with a single snap. He exclaimed in shock, Mother of Heavens, spirit meat has fallen from the sky, and it is 1000-year spirit meat at that. Bless the heavens, and blessings upon these living Buddhas. Within the private room, the three esteemed living Buddhas were rendered utterly speechless. Han Yuan Buddha nearly coughed up blood in vexation. This, in truth, was millennia, mold spirit flesh. For the sake of contending energies, these two women, Leeli and Ling Shu, had unwittingly benefited another. He vigorously massaged his chest, lest his lungs explode from pent-up fury. Listening to the devouring heaven tiger crunch and gnaw upon the spirit flesh, uttering words of gratitude to the heavens with each bite, Leeli Buddha clenched her small fists together, silently lamenting, consider it fed to a dog. Ling Shu Buddha felt an unbearable ache within her heart. Millennia, mold spirit flesh she had not even tasted was regarded as mere refuse in Leeli's eyes. This stark contrast caused her a touch of frenzy. It also made her sense that something was amiss. What was happening? In past confrontations, she had always held the upper hand, so why was she constantly suffering setbacks today? Her gaze settled upon Fang Chen, a hint of displeasure flickering within her eyes. This dog of a man was quite adept at singing praises. Her wondrous eyes fluttered, and she spoke, Leeli. You have yet to properly introduce your betrothed. We only know that he played a minor role in the Jishan War. Aside from that, we seem to hear little of his deeds. Leeli discerned that Ling Shu was directly shifting the focus to Fang Chen, intending to embarrass Leeli by belittling him. Leeli was somewhat concerned, for no matter how skilled Fang Chen was in controlling his sword, he was, in truth, but a high condensation realm human disciple. Were it not for their secret entanglement, and the fact that the demon emperor needed him to maintain appearances, he would be utterly insignificant. Just as she was at a loss as to what to do, Fang Chen smiled gently. Esteemed Miss Ling Shu, greetings. This one is Fang Chen. Allow me to introduce myself, consort of the demon race, special merit contributor, personally bestowed by the Heaven's Secret Pavilion. The sect master of the Azure Cloud sect is my teacher, and the sect masters of the Harmonious Union sect and the Spirit Beast sect are my friends. The 9 sects' foremost prodigy, Zia Zheoj, is my dearest friend, and the 9 sects' foremost powerhouse, Zhu Qingyong, is my guide upon the path of the sword. 2 Vice Pavilion, Masters of the Heavens, Secret Pavilion, vie to accept me as their disciple. In the Jishan War, I annihilated several thousand of the Corpse army, reversing the tides and securing victory. In the demon race's heartland, I twice captured the Yunxia consort. Within the Demon Emperor's Grand Hall, my second star shook all 4 directions. Ling Shu rubbed her brow. Hastily interrupting him, she said, Good, I understand. Please cease. There was no room to attack, utterly none. Each and every line of this resume could blind a person with its brilliance. Moreover, with so many accolades combined, she could find no fault to pick. Han Yuan, standing to the side, was utterly silenced. He had never looked down upon Fang Chen, yet he did not believe himself to be inferior. Until Fang Chen's self-introduction, which left him utterly dumbfounded on the spot. Within the 9 sects, Fang Chen was practically invincible. Above, he had the 9 sects' foremost powerhouse as a protector of the Tao. In the middle, a sect master teacher and 2 sect master friends. Below, he had the 9 sects' foremost prodigy as a close friend, and in the future, the Heaven's Secret Pavilion's 4 Vice Pavilion masters to pave his path. His future was limitless. How could he compare? As he recounted the accomplishments he had always taken pride in, he felt too embarrassed to even bring them up for comparison. Liu Lai was also dumbfounded. Her 2 eyes widened greatly. Wait, so my betrothed is this incredible? Regaining her senses, her face flushed with a crimson glow. Yet she gave a dry cough and chided him, Be a bit more humble. Even the tiniest events of your life must be spoken of. Those who don't know better might think you're boasting. Fang Chen revealed an expression of triumph and cupped his hands toward Ling Shu and Han Yuan, mere trifles. I trust I have not made a spectacle of myself before you both. Han Yuan's lips twitched. Did you see me laughing? Each of those trifles pierces one's heart, you know. Ling Shu gave a blessing and said awkwardly, Young Master Fang is too modest. This little woman is ignorant and ill-informed, unaware of your esteemed renown. Yet she remained unconvinced. Fang Chen was individually powerful. She conceded that much. But what good was such power? What benefits could it bring to Liu Lai? Her gaze shifted lightly, and she said gently, Young Master Fang, you and Liu Lai are of like minds and hearts. After this reunion, you must have prepared many surprises for her, no? Fang Chen was a human, and his cultivation methods or magical artifacts would not suit the demon race. He could offer Liu Lai nothing of material benefit. In the future, even if he were to marry Liu Lai, it would be exceedingly difficult for him to offer her any meaningful assistance. This was an insurmountable disparity between their 2 races, dictated by the very laws of nature. It was also the very reason why Liu Lai would be mocked and ridiculed for marrying a human. For taking a human as a husband would undoubtedly put her at a profound disadvantage. A look of guilt surfaced on Fang Chen's face as he spoke. Our time since meeting has been but fleeting. If the opportunity arises in the future, I shall do my utmost to assist Liu Lai. In the future, Ling Shu scoffed, just as she prepared to mockingly ask if this future meant tomorrow, next year, or a century from now. Yet Liu Lai interjected, Fang Chen, when it is not the time to be modest, you need not be. Have you not treated me exceedingly well? A faint glimmer of anticipation flickered within her eyes. During past gatherings, she would avoid attending at all costs. No matter how Ling Shu tried to goad her, it was entirely in vain. Yet she had agreed so readily this time, and the reason was exceedingly simple. She had broken through, and not just a mere step, but a heaven-defying leap across realms. From the 5th level of the core formation realm, which was far inferior to Ling Shu, she had soared directly into the 7th level of the core formation realm. The 7th level of the core formation realm was Ling Shu's greatest source of pride before Liu Lai, her most formidable capital, and the very peak Liu Lai had most desperately wished to surpass. Now, she too had broken through to the 7th level of the core formation realm. Ling Shu's pride had already been utterly obliterated. Therefore, the moment Ling Shu asked that question, her heart surged with unparalleled excitement. At long last, the moment had come for her, Liu Lai, to flex her might and manifest her divine glory before the masses. Lingshu scrutinized Leeli with a peculiar gaze. Is that so? What grand fortune has he bestowed upon you? Why not display it for us to witness? Ha ha ha, you have asked the very question I desired. Leeli roared with laughter in her heart. Yet, on the surface, she maintained an air of supreme tranquility. Perhaps it is best that I do not. I fear you might not be able to bear it. Lingshu remained thoroughly unconvinced. Fang Chen and Leeli have only known each other for a few days. Even if he possessed a myriad of resources suitable for the demonic beasts, could he truly allow Leeli to shed her mortal coil and be reborn anew? Sister Leeli jests. If you have undergone a fortuitous transformation, as your elder sister, I would only be overjoyed. How could I possibly be unable to bear it? Reveal it to us. Should I see any flaws, I could even offer you some guidance. Guidance, such arrogant words. Is the 7th level of the core formation realm truly so magnificent? Well, my apologies, but this lady has reached it too. Feigning helplessness, Leeli sighed. Very well. I only hope that Sister Lingshu will not be too astounded. With those words, the vital blood and chi within her body surged, and a mighty, awe-inspiring aura slowly emanated outward. At first, Lingshu's face bore a playful smirk, awaiting a theatrical spectacle, but gradually, her countenance turned profoundly solemn. Finally, when Leeli's aura was completely unleashed, Lingshu's pupils quaked violently, and she gasped in a breath of cold air. The 7th level of the core formation realm. How is this possible? Beside them, Hunyuan shuddered in sheer terror, exclaiming in absolute shock, Young Master Leeli H. How did you break through to the 7th level of the core formation realm? Were you not at the 5th level, heavens above? How could anyone ascend from the 5th to the 7th level in a single breath? Even the Demon Emperor does not possess such heaven-reaching abilities. Leeli retracted her aura, elegantly tossing the silken hair that cascaded over her chest, and said with serene composure, It is but a minor breakthrough. I have made a fool of myself before you both. You call this a minor breakthrough? Hunyuan clutched his head, carefully recalling the countless ages and immeasurable blood, sweat, and tears he had expended to bridge the gap between the 5th and 7th levels. Comparing himself to Leeli, who achieved the same in the mere 5 days since Fang Chen's arrival, he suddenly felt a profound, crushing doubt regarding his own arduous cultivation. Enduring the bitterest of hardships pales in comparison to marrying well. This world is far too damn unfair. In that very moment, Lingshu's state of mind thoroughly shattered. Martial prowess was the greatest capital she wielded. The only reason she dared to compete with the daughter of the Demon Emperor was because Leeli, despite her noble birth and the peerless, heaven-blessed resources she enjoyed, had still possessed a cultivation inferior to hers. It was precisely this superiority in strength that granted her the confidence to contend with Leeli. Now, discovering that Leeli had caught up to her overnight was a devastating blow, no less catastrophic than the collapse of the heavens themselves. How did you break through? Lingshu found it utterly impossible to accept. Leeli pursed her lips playfully. Naturally, it is because I have a wonderful fiancé. Upon our very first meeting, he bestowed upon me a vial of peerless spiritual liquid, allowing me to leap across realms. Sister Lingshu, did you not say earlier that you wished to offer me some guidance? Her tone was brimming with jest. Guidance? Lingshu herself desperately needed someone to point the way through the fog. What kind of lunatic would gift their fiancé such a heaven-defying elixir upon their first encounter? Why could she not meet such a stellar man? Hunyuan could no longer be bothered with the rivalry between the two women. He cupped his fists toward Fang Chen and pleaded, Brother Fang, do you still have any of that spiritual liquid? I am willing to exchange for it at an exorbitant price. Hearing this, Leeli instantly grew tense, secretly regretting that she had exposed such a priceless treasure merely to win a petty squabble. She hastily interrupted before Fang Chen could speak. No, there is none left. I drank it all. Was this a joke? That was a life. Protecting elixir reserved for her unborn child. How could she possibly allow an outsider to consume it? Lingshu's eyes lit up brilliantly. Indeed, if she could also obtain a portion of that spiritual liquid, wouldn't her cultivation base surpass Leeli's once again? As for Leeli's claim of having drunk it all, after years of rivalry between them, how could she fail to recognize a blatant lie? Fang Chen definitely still possessed more. Consequently, her gaze toward Fang Chen completely shifted, and she asked in a silken, tender voice, Big Brother Fang Chen, is that spiritual liquid truly all gone? Fang Chen chuckled inwardly. Just moments ago, she had targeted him at every turn, yet now she had so quickly changed her tune to call him Big Brother Fang Chen. He shook his head and replied, just as Leeli said, it is completely gone. It was always better to avoid unnecessary trouble. The fewer people who knew about such a heaven-defying elixir, the better. But how could such words deceive someone as meticulously observant as Ling Shu? She astutely noticed that when Fang Chen answered, Leeli had grown visibly nervous. She could not help but let a faint smirk curl at the corner of her lips. There is indeed more. It is merely because we are not yet well acquainted that Fang Chen is unwilling to give it to me. So, was there even a need to question what her next course of action would be? Very well, Ling Shu expressed a hint of disappointment, then shifted to an envious tone. Brother Fang Chen is truly a warm-hearted soul, so considerate towards Sister Leeli. Ling Shu finds herself deeply envious. Leeli's brow furrowed, a flicker of wariness entering her gaze as she observed Ling Shu. Could this insidious one be plotting to steal her affections? Having contended for years, she understood Ling Shu's machinations all too well. Few men could resist her cunning ploys once unleashed. Displaying her eminence before all had sufficed for the day, her satisfaction now complete, it was time to depart. Fang Chen, I am weary. Let us return to the royal court. She would assuredly not grant Ling Shu another opportunity. Fang Chen was speechless. Had he not been extolling Leeli thus precisely to secure a glimpse of the tiger demon Emperor's relic casket? Now that Leeli had her fill of glory, she merely wished to depart without further ado. After a slight hesitation, he spoke. Is there not a venerable elder of the demon race expected to arrive? Would it not be deemed impolite if we departed before his arrival? Leeli's brow twitched. Why had Fang Chen suddenly become disobedient? Could it be that Ling Shu's single utterance of Brother Fang Chen had entranced his very soul? Nevertheless, Fang Chen's reasoning was not without merit. Suppressing her discomfort, she conceded, then let us wait a little longer. Ling Shu's spirits lifted, and with eyes shining with admiration, she declared, Brother Fang Chen, does the human race always hold such reverence for their elders? Ling Shu truly must learn diligently from your esteemed human race. While appearing to laud the human race, her true intent was to praise Fang Chen. Such artful flattery, devoid of awkwardness, served as a potent social weapon. Even though Fang Chen clearly discerned her flattery, he could not summon any aversion, merely offering a slight nod and stating, it is as it should be. Ling Shu's eyes sparkled with fervent admiration. Brother Fang Chen is truly so humble. Please, take this seat for a moment. Directly opposite is the seat reserved for my venerable elder of the demon race. He, too, will surely favor a human of such modesty and courtesy as yourself. With a natural grace, she arranged a seat for Fang Chen, a seat positioned intimately beside Ling Shu's own. As if only just realizing Fang Chen's predicament, she gasped softly, Brother Fang Chen, why are your limbs bound? She hastily stepped forward, pulling at the chains, only to find them unyielding. Fang Chen replied, there is no need to exert yourself. These are binding chains. The key rests with Consort Yunxia. Ling Shu's face registered a pained sympathy. Upon discovering that Fang Chen's wrists were chafed raw and bleeding from the chains, she tenderly cradled his hand, gently blowing upon the wounds, and lamented with feigned sorrow, Brother Fang Chen, how could the demon emperor be so cruel? To have taken you as imperial son-in-law, yet still keep you bound. If only I were the demon emperor's daughter, I would surely kneel and beseech the demon emperor to release you, never allowing my brother to suffer such injustice. Fang Chen touched his nose. To be truthful, he found himself quite receptive to her overtures. She was indeed a master of subtle manipulation, yet her gentleness was undeniably genuine. Bang Leeli, seething with anger, slammed her palm upon the armrest of her chair and cried out imperiously, Ling Shu, remove your hand at once. To dare blow upon Fang Chen's wounds, right before her very eyes, was she so brazenly attempting to steal her man? And furthermore, to subtly imply her failure to intercede with the demon emperor, allowing Fang Chen to suffer such indignity. Startled, Ling Shu swiftly released her hold, lowering her head in feigned shame. Forgive me, Sister Leeli, I merely felt profound sorrow for Brother Fang Chen, and in that moment forgot the proper distinctions between genders. Leeli retorted indignantly, Indeed, I am but a jealous tigress, and only you possess the compassion to grieve for Brother Fang Chen, is that it? You wretched temptress, she cast aside all pretense, directly launching her verbal assault. In times past, Ling Shu would have met such antagonism head-on, but on this occasion, she silently lowered her head, and tears streamed down her face, a truly pitiful sight. Fang Chen's lips twitched. He spoke, Leeli, compose yourself, do not yield to anger. How could Ling Shu be a mere scheming temptress? She is clearly a thoughtful and gentle younger sister. Witnessing Fang Chen's defense of Ling Shu, Leeli's fury intensified. Fang Chen, what is the meaning of this? Ling Shu secretly gloated, then, with an air of feigned sweetness, demurely said, "Oh, dearest. Sister Leeli, it is all my fault. Please do not blame Brother Fang Chen. He has already suffered enough. Do not scold him further." This only I pity brother facade of manipulative sweetness made Leeli want to strike her. Was there no end to this incessant fawning? Just at this moment, a resounding thump, thump, thump of footsteps echoed from the stairwell. A new guest had arrived. Leeli reluctantly suppressed her emotions, while Ling Shu revealed a faint smile of triumph, this skirmish having concluded with a minor victory. She gazed towards the stairwell, only to behold an elder of the human race ascending. Even Fang Chen was astonished. Could it truly be a human, or perhaps a demon whose form bore an uncanny resemblance to humanity? Upon careful spiritual perception, it was confirmed the aura emanating from the individual was, beyond doubt, that of a human. How could the venerable elder of the demon race, invited by Ling Shu, prove to be a human? Amidst his perplexity, Fang Chen could not help but feel a surge of familiarity. Having long resided among the demon race, to suddenly encounter one of his own kind inevitably evoked the profound sentiment of meeting an old acquaintance in a distant land. Abruptly, a thought struck him, and his countenance instantly darkened as he fixed an intense, unwavering gaze upon the elder. Ling Shu, may the demon emperor's legacy gift now be presented. What manner of human could possibly thrive, like a fish in water, amidst the ongoing grand conflict between the human and demon races? The grand elder of the giant sect, Fang Teji. To surrender to the demon race to earn their trust, he had brutally slain 7 of his own elders, all for the sake of pledging allegiance to the demonic forces. The human elder standing before them must assuredly have committed acts of profound betrayal against the human race for the demon race to place such unwavering trust in him, harbor no fear of his return to humanity. Ling Shu held him in high regard, stepping forward to greet him. "Esteemed Elder Han, please take the seat of honor." Even Leeli was astonished, and she hastened forward to receive him. "Teacher, how is it that you have graced us with your presence?" The elder before them was none other than Han Feidao, the personal tutor arranged by the demon sovereign for Leeli, who had instructed her for 3 arduous years. The curriculum encompassed the human race's language, culture, customs, and many other facets of their existence. Beyond these teachings, he imparted unto Leeli numerous profound principles of life. Thus, Leeli harbored immense reverence for this human mentor. In truth, Han Feidao had not merely served as Leeli's tutor. Countless tribes had beseeched him to instruct the younger generations within their clans. Verily, at least 3/10 of the noble scions across the lands counted themselves among Han Feidao's disciples. His prestige among the demon race was paramount, such that few demons still regarded him merely as a human. Even Ling Shu addressed him as an elder of the demon race, a testament to the profound respect he commanded. Han Feidao, past his 80th year, bore the marks of advanced age, his gait faltering, and his form frail, seemingly devoid of any cultivation. Yet his countenance remained stern and unyielding, his lips seldom curving into a smile, emanating an aura of distant solemnity that deterred all familiarity. "So Leeli has arrived as well," Han Feidao observed, turning his gaze towards her. With a stern expression, he declared, "I have heard tell that you are to be wed to a human. Is this claim true?" Leeli froze, casting a surreptitious glare at Ling Shu. "Surely this wretch has intentionally summoned Han Feidao to quell my spirit." She mused inwardly. Fortunate it was that she had not departed earlier, lest she incur the grave offense of disrespecting Han Feidao, bringing forth further chastisement from the demon sovereign. "Teacher," Leeli stammered, her words faltering, "this entire arrangement was decreed by my imperial father." Han Feidao let out a disdainful huff. "Then you shall rescind it. The human race is naught but a vile breed, rife with schemes, treacherous in their pursuits of gain, and utterly consumed by selfish desires. To unite with them would defile your noble demon sovereign bloodline. To thus disparage him, and the entire human race in Fang Chen's very presence, how could Fang Chen possibly feign deafness to such insults?" "Old man," Fang Chen retorted, "since the demon race accords you the title of teacher, surely you possess profound learning. Have you not heard the ancient tale of Su Shi and Foyan?" Only then did Han Feidao perceive another human presence in the chamber. His gaze sharpened, sweeping across Fang Chen's human form and the shackles binding his limbs, and he instantly recognized his identity. His expression instantly grew colder, and with a voice laced with disdain, he uttered, "So it is you, then? Even in your very presence, this old man declares you utterly unworthy to be the consort of my demon race." I shall counsel the demon sovereign to annul this betrothal, lest you defile the noble lineage of the imperial demon clan. The repeated declarations of my demon race grated upon Fang Chen's ears. He had indeed encountered a true human traitor. Fang Chen let out a sardonic laugh. To one whose heart harbors the Buddha, all beings appear as the Buddha, but to one whose heart is naught but filth, all they perceive is filth. Since you yourself are defiled, it is only natural that you deem all of humankind likewise. Han Feidao let out a thunderous snort. Impudence, you, a mere captive, dare to spout such outrageous nonsense before this old man. Begone from my sight. Ling Shu felt her head swell twofold with exasperation. She had summoned Han Feidao to subdue Liu Lai, yet unexpectedly, Liu Lai remained unchastened, and instead, her esteemed elder brother had fallen into conflict with the tutor. She swiftly intervened, her voice soft and placating. Esteemed elder Han, yesterday, this junior passed by your academy and beheld the couplet adorning its entrance. Its words were plain and unadorned, yet they held profound truths concealed within. Truly thought-provoking. Never does a taut string not break first. What was the latter half of the verse? This junior's mind is dull. A flush of feigned embarrassment graced her features. Han Feidao spoke slowly and deliberately, and a keen blade oft finds its edge chipped. Ling Shu's eyes widened in feigned enlightenment. Precisely, that is the very line. Even a casual couplet from esteemed elder Han imparts profound wisdom upon this junior. The anger on Han Feidao's face subsided, and he chuckled reprovingly. You dare to lecture this old man now. This couplet serves to counsel patience. If you wish to admonish me to exercise restraint, speak plainly. Are you merely seeking elaborate ways to praise my couplet? Ling Shu playfully stuck out her tongue and laughed charmingly. Was this not born of fear that esteemed elder Han might not heed this junior's humble counsel? Han Feidao gently tapped her forehead, his favoritism undisguised. You clever little rascal. For who could deny affection to a junior so eloquent and astute? He once more turned his gaze upon Fang Chen, his arrogance somewhat diminished, yet his countenance remained far from pleasant. This old man deigns not to squabble with a mere junior. Thereupon, supported by Ling Shu, he settled into the preeminent seat. Having seen to Han Feidao's comfort, Ling Shu approached Fang Chen, her face etched with apology. Elder brother, I never anticipated events would unfold thus. This is all my failing. Every word is steeped in tea, scented affectation, yet it is well enough. So long as no malice is harbored, what harm is there in a bit of such tea like guile? It concerns you not. Are all present and accounted for? Fang Chen spoke. Ling Shu replied, the 10 stars have yet to arrive. Even as the words left her lips, the sound of chaotic footsteps echoed from below. 8 of the stars, led by Purple Star, arrived in great haste. Upon entering the chamber, they immediately offered their profound apologies to Han Feidao. Elder Han, our humblest apologies, we were delayed upon the path. Han Feidao's countenance darkened, and he remained silent. Leeli rebuked them sharply. Purple Star, what is the meaning of this? Knowing the teacher was to arrive, why did you not come ahead of time? How dare you keep the teacher waiting? It was pardonable that she did not know. But since the 10 stars were aware, how could they dare to show such negligence? Purple Star bowed with a look of woe. Young Master Leeli, strange occurrences have struck the city. People have been vanishing one after another, and we were dispatched on an urgent reconnaissance mission. Leeli was struck with a sense of dread. Under the very gaze of the Demon Emperor, someone dared to sow such chaos. To seize members of the demon race, how could such a thing be? The mighty experts of the demon race are attending to this. I trust it shall be resolved shortly. Pray take your seats. Once this gathering disperses, you shall escort the teacher back, lest any others fix their covetous gaze upon him. Purple Star nodded, yet he did not dare take a seat without permission. All eyes turned expectantly toward Han Feidao. Since there was a just cause, you may sit. Han Feidao's expression softened slightly as he gave a shallow nod. Glancing at Fang Chen seated opposite him, a thought stirred in his mind. You shall sit beside Fang Chen. Fang Chen was the one who had incited the collective wrath of the demon race at Boundary Mountain. The 10 stars had arrived. Upon seeing their sworn enemy, they would surely not allow him a moment of peace. To this end, Han Feidao had deliberately emphasized Fang Chen's identity. The 10 stars would surely be consumed by rage to find Fang Chen here, would they not? However, what caused Han Feidao's brow to twitch in surprise was the eerie, unsettling silence that filled the private chamber. The 8 stars exchanged glances, yet none uttered a sound. Doubt crept into Han Feidao's heart. Why had no one stepped forward to denounce Fang Chen? It defied all reason. The demons gathered below refused to leave, their voices raised in a clamor to crusade against Fang Chen. Yet these 10 stars of the demon race remained so unnervingly calm. Then take your seats, Han Feidao said, abandoning his attempt to incite them. Yet Purple Star remained motionless. Not a single soul dared to sit near Fang Chen. Who among them was so weary of life as to dare sit beside Fang Chen? Even before the Demon Emperor, he had ruthlessly slaughtered 2 of the stars. Now that the Demon Emperor was absent, would his path of slaughter not be even more practiced and effortless? What has come over all of you? Han Feidao was bewildered. Everything was shrouded in strangeness. Purple Star forced a strained smile and said, "Teacher, we shall take the other seats." Only then did Han Feidao sense the anomaly, casting a suspicious glance at Fang Chen. Could the 10 stars of the demon race truly fear a mere human junior? This Fang Chen's hands and feet were bound. What was there to fear? He spoke with a stern face. "I told you to sit, so sit." Purple Star and the other 7 stars exchanged frantic looks, each silently urging the other to sit beside Fang Chen, yet none dared to take the step. Han Feidao was incensed. As a venerable teacher, could he truly not even command his own disciples? Yet a greater frustration awaited him. Fang Chen frowned and spoke. "Be seated. I await to behold the nature of the Tiger Demon Emperor's legacy, yet you lot are not only tardy, but also dither over your seating." This singular shout startled them, causing them to shudder and hurriedly take their seats in a clatter. Zai Xing sat beside Fang Chen with trepidation, cupping his hands. The consort has also graced us with his presence. This scene caused Han Feidao to freeze in shock. His own words carried less weight than those of a mere human junior. His aged face lost its composure as he huffed. "He has yet to be named consort." "And yet you fawn upon him so. When did the demon race begin to indulge in such sycophancy?" Zai Xing could only smile bitterly. How could it be that he feared Fang Chen's status as consort? The demon race values only raw power. Status is but a secondary concern. Otherwise, how would Ling Shu dare to contend with the daughter of the demon emperor? However, he was too ashamed to inform Han Feidao of the ignominy where the 10 stars of the demon emperor hall were utterly crushed. Thus, he could only lower his head in silent, bitter laughter. Sensing the stifling atmosphere, Ling Shu quickly interjected, "Enough, enough. It is a rare occasion for Elder Han and the elites of the demon race to gather. How can we allow such a moment to go to waste?" She walked to a corner and placed a bundle wrapped in beast hide upon the table. Tearing away the hide, a square piece of black jade met their eyes. Fang Chen's eyes flickered with a sharp light. "This is..." Ling Shu adjusted her skirts and sat beside Fang Chen, chuckling softly, the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade casket. Fang Chen was momentarily stunned. The jade was a singular, solid piece, devoid of any seams. Aside from its cubic shape, it bore no resemblance to a casket. However, upon closer inspection, it was revealed to be inscribed with dense, intricate demon script. The characters were incredibly ancient, differing vastly from the contemporary script of the demon race. "This is the legacy casket our tribe obtained when the Tiger Demon Emperor fell in ages past. For decades, we have been unable to decipher these ancient demonic runes. I bring it forth today, hoping to harness the collective wisdom of all gathered here to unlock its secrets. I have specifically petitioned the Patriarch, the one who successfully opens it shall be granted 30% of the treasures within." Ling Shu surveyed the assembly, her voice sweet as she made the introduction. Heart stirred at her words. A mere fragment of the legacy of that ancient demon emperor who neared the soul formation realm had forged the supreme authority of the current sky demon emperor. This jade casket was so perfectly preserved. What if it too contained a transcendent legacy? Liu Lai approached with a haughty air, pulling Zai Xing up and taking the seat on Fang Chen's other side. She cast a sidelong glance at Ling Shu, who sat close to Fang Chen's left, and gazed curiously at the Tiger Demon Emperor's jade casket. Before arriving, she had been dismissive of the artifact, yet now she was more intrigued than any other. "Sister Liu Lai, as the daughter of the Demon Emperor, your knowledge must be vast. Do you recognize these demonic runes?" Seeing her sit, Ling Shu posed the question with a hint of provocation. Liu Lai gritted her teeth in secret. Did being the Demon Emperor's daughter mean she must know ancient script? This woman never missed a chance to mock her. With all eyes upon her, Leeli refused to lose face. She maintained her composure and said, "Mere ancient runes. What difficulty could they possibly pose?" "Fang Chen, tell them what is written upon it." Fang Chen laughed inwardly. Was she truly willing to sacrifice her fiancé to save herself? Fortunately, he truly did understand it. "Let me examine it closely." Fang Chen turned the jade casket, scrutinizing the characters with focus. Observing his serious demeanor, Ling Shu showed a look of surprise. "Brother, do not force yourself. Sister Leeli was merely jesting." She had never expected Fang Chen to be able to decipher the script. The guest of honor today was Han Feidao. Since joining the demon race, Han Feidao had devoted himself to the study of their culture. He did not pursue the martial Dao, instead immersing himself in the surviving ancient records of the demons. After decades in terms of understanding demonic culture, if he were second, none would dare claim first. Even the demon emperor might not possess his depth of knowledge. As for Fang Chen, he had not even been among those invited. Fang Chen smiled. "It is fine. I happen to know a little of these primordial demonic runes." Ling Shu's cherry, red lips parted in shock as she gasped, "Brother, you even understand this?" Leeli, standing to his left, was momentarily stunned. Did Fang Chen truly understand this? How did this fellow possess a hidden talent for every conceivable art? Han Yuan also manifested a look of utter disbelief. This is too preposterous. Could Fang Chen truly decipher the script of the ancient demon race? Even Han Feidao, who has spent his entire existence researching ancient demonic scrolls, dares not claim mastery over the scripts of the demon race. Fang Chen is but 18 years of age. Given his profound attainments in martial arts, he surely lacks the surplus time required to study the demonic script. Han Feidao cast a surprised glance at Fang Chen, letting out a soft chuckle. What a bold display of groundless boasting. This script belongs to the Mui tribe, a clan of the demon race that has long vanished into the river of history. Their final clansman perished 4 centuries ago. Save for a single parchment scroll within the Demon Emperor Hall that records a fraction of their language, all traces of them have been erased from this world. The Mui tribe, those present wore expressions of bewilderment. Even the exceptionally brilliant Ling Shu felt a sense of profound unfamiliarity. If only our demon race could learn from Fang Chen's human race. The human race preserves a continuous lineage spanning thousands of years, yet our demon race has lost all sense of its history in a mere 400 years. Fang Chen appraised Han Feidao with a hint of surprise. Though this human traitor was loathsome, he indeed possessed some true ability to actually recognize the ancient demonic script upon the artifact. He nodded slightly. "It is indeed the script of the Mui tribe." "You actually recognize it?" Han Feidao laughed in exasperation. "Parroting my words, whatever tribe I mention, you simply claim it to be the same, do you not?" He did not believe for a moment that Fang Chen could be as proficient in the Mui script as he was. That parchment scroll had taken him 2 full years to tentatively decipher, referencing a vast multitude of remnant demonic records. Even so, he only dared to claim recognition of the Mui characters found within that specific scroll. Were he presented with characters unrecorded therein, he might not recognize them. Fang Chen cast an indifferent glance at him and frowned. "You attend to yours, and I shall attend to mine. Why all this senseless chatter? Being constantly disturbed is quite tiresome." Han Feidao choked with rage. He had originally intended not to lower himself to Fang Chen's level, but who could have expected this youth to be so utterly insolent? "So you enjoy blind imitation? You shall decipher it first. Once you have finished, this old man shall announce the correct answer. I wish to see how you will continue your charade of wisdom once I have fallen silent." Seeing Han Feidao's fury, the others dared not utter a word. Though his temperament was usually poor, it was rare to see him this incensed. Fang Chen had truly provoked him to the core. Ling Shu massaged her temples, feeling a headache brewing. These two were like oil and water, unable to find a single note of harmony. Ling Shu vaguely understood the underlying cause. One had fallen among the demon race after fighting for humanity, while the other had betrayed humanity to join the demon race. Their fundamental stances were diametrically opposed. Reconciliation was an impossibility. She could only lean close to Fang Chen, staying by his side in silent companionship as she whispered, "Brother, simply do your best. Ling Shu will always support you." On the other side, Leeli rolled her eyes. Truly, enough was enough. She let out a soft huff as well. "There is no need for your concern. Fang Chen knows his own limits." Yet her words lacked any true conviction. After all, this was a lost language of the demon race, a culture severed for 4 centuries. Han Feidao recognized it by relying on the sacred records of the demon race. Where could Fang Chen have possibly learned it? Hunyuan also shook his head slightly. Lingxia's tribe had consulted many elders of the demon race regarding the ancient script on the Jade Casket, yet none had met with success. If it were so easily unraveled by a youth of the human race, what a bitter irony that would be. He could barely accept it if it were broken by an old scholar like Han Feidao. Before long, Fang Chen finished his detailed examination of the script and came to a sudden realization. This truly is a casket. Lingshu asked in surprise, "Brother, have you truly made a discovery?" Fang Chen nodded slightly. "The content has been deciphered. Shall I recite it for you?" Lingshu's eyes sparkled. Fang Chen had actually deciphered it. She nodded repeatedly. "Yes, yes, please speak, brother. I shall record it with my brush." However, Han Feidao unhurriedly set down his brush and placed a sheet of Chuan paper, covered in script, face down on the table, sliding it toward Lingshu. "I have also unraveled the mystery. Wait until he concludes his interpretation, then read mine aloud." To prevent Fang Chen from weaving a web of lies, Han Feidao had written the correct translation upon the paper. When the two were compared, whether Fang Chen was a master or a fraud would be evident at a single glance. Lingshu felt awkward. Was this not intentionally putting Fang Chen in a difficult position? If Fang Chen failed to interpret it, or if his translation was riddled with errors, would he not be humiliated before everyone? Yet, with Han Feidao watching her, she could only accept the paper and say helplessly, "As you wish." Fang Chen remained entirely unbothered and said, "This is a mantra of the Mu tribe, similar to the spatial storage artifacts of our human race. To open it, a specific incantation must be recited. The content is as follows." Fang Chen spoke in a steady tone, his pronunciation clear, as he recited the mantra without missing a single character. The mantra held no particular meaning. Each line consisted of independent characters gathered together at random. Lingshu swiftly took notes, and as Fang Chen finished his recitation, she withdrew her brush. "It is finished." The others wore strange expressions. He had finished the recitation, but was it truly not just a random fabrication? Their gazes directed at Fang Chen were filled with intense suspicion. Leeli felt a flicker of trepidation. Surely Fang Chen was not merely weaving a web of falsehoods. Han Feidao had already inscribed the true answer nearby. Once compared, should the disparity prove too vast, Fang Chen would suffer a humiliating loss of prestige. Lingshu likewise felt a sense of unease. She cast a wary glance toward Han Feidao, uncertain whether she should subject the two oral formulas to a public comparison. To her astonishment, she discovered that Han Feidao seemed to have lost his very soul, staring fixedly at Fang Chen without so much as a blink, his thoughts shrouded in mystery. After a moment's deliberation, Lingshu unfurled the folded parchment, intending to scrutinize it herself first. If the divergence was too irreconcilable to conceal, she would be forced to reveal the truth. Yet, should there be only minor flaws, she would attempt to smooth over the situation for Fang Chen's sake. Yet, upon a single glance, Lingshu was struck with profound shock. "All right, guys, pull up a chair and grab your popcorn, because the author was absolutely cooking in this episode. We started with the classic protagonist teleports into the consort's bathtub trope, and I was ready to roll my eyes, but then the psychological warfare kicked in. Fang Chen isn't just hiding in a spirit pool. He's playing a deadly game of chicken with a suspicious demon emperor while literally being hugged by a goddess. It's peak stress comedy. But let's talk about that social flex at the Huicui Pavilion. Lingshu and Hunyuan think they are the main characters because they brought 100-year spirit meat. Then Fang Chen drops Millennium, grade essence like it's a discarded chicken nugget. The pure green tea energy from Lingshu calling him Big Brother the second she smells the loot. Hilarious. But here's where your brain should actually melt. Look at Fang Chen's resume. He didn't just stumble into this power. This man spent 5 days passing out in agony, burning his soul to ash with true spirit blood just to manifest a 2-armed phantom that has a CX more arms to unlock. He's a total madman, hidden behind a handsome face. And then there's Han Feidao, the ultimate I learned a dead language on Duolingo human traitor, trying to flex his PhD on an ancient demon casket. Fang Chen didn't just read the script, he understood the soul of the Mui tribe. We aren't watching a prisoner, we're watching a god, Tear Sword, cultivator dismantle a civilization's ego one snack at a time. If you aren't hyped for the casket opening, you're basically that heaven, devouring tiger, just happy to catch the scraps.